Okay. See, I hate recording stuff because I
Great
instantly climb
start.
up.
Great
Okay.
start. Great start, Raimi. Great
Wait,
start.
hold on. Hold on. We're gonna start.
You didn't start yet? I thought
No,
you
I had to say
started.
the thing. Welcome, welcome to YabYap, the the whatever podcast where I don't know how to start. And today we have the temp on. Temp, describe yourself now, so I don't have to.
Hello, hello. I'm Temp Tempai. Not not usually in this form, but today I felt a little bit special. Wanted to dress up for the occasion. I guess. How do I describe myself as? Just a hobbyist VTuber at this point. Barely even streaming, but just somebody who's really interested in like the technology.
Then you can
So I've
also
done a
say
few
like
things there.
what you do IRL and like everything.
Oh yeah, I live in Japan. Uh I teach English in Japan. I was a programmer before this. I'm not really all that interesting of a person, but I'm still here regardless.
People are interesting. Even like someone you find out the street can tell you something interesting, and that's why I'm doing the podcast. Is because everyone has like a story that they can say, right?
Fair enough, yeah. No, I mean that's true. I
Okay.
most awkward thing of all time. The most awkward
Okay.
podcast.
I have a nice, beautiful icebreaker question. Are you ready? Are you ready for this beautiful dumb thing?
Yeah,
Temp,
let's bring it.
temp. Why do you
Yes.
love this weird dolphin bird so much?
Oh my god, it's Finnfin! He's our best friend. Why wouldn't you love him?
Why? Tell me. Tell me why you love him and like explain what he is.
Yeah, okay, so this is Finnfin. He's from a game from the 90s. Actually, it was a big in Japan, like bigger in Japan than in America. But it's like a virtual pet game where you just like go into this world, this magical world, and play with this bird dolphin creature called Finnfin. You get to like, I don't know, it's this virtual pet stuff. The reason I love him so much because when I was like, I don't know, it must have been like 7 years old or something. I'd go to my grandma's house. She'd have this old Windows 95 um, and she had all these old games on it, like Jez Ball, like Free. And then she also, for some reason, had this game, I guess just for the grandkids. Um, and it was just magical. It's like one of those magical times when you're like a kid and everything's so freaking cool. And you boot up this thing and like there was this magical creature in there. I don't know. So it's totally nostalgia glasses for me, but yeah, Finfin fucking rocks. Any haters can go see themselves out the back door, please. Thank you.
Damn, you're that dedicated to him? You're
He's
that
yeah. I
dedicated?
mean, I've kept myself single for 30 years for this.
For the dolphin bird.
I'm
Oh,
waiting for him to come to me. I know he will someday. I know he
here.
will.
Here, I also have another thing. Just for you.
Okay.
Here, just a little something to put there.
Yo, it's a little figurine. Yo, I need
Just
that
a
in my house. Oh my god, I need to get some. I need to like design one and 3D print it and have it in my. Oh my god, I could start the new wave of Fin
You could
merchandise. I could
totally
do
make like
this.
a little
I could.
Finnfin and then like 3D print it.
I could do this. I have the skills and the technology. Oh
Yeah, this
my
is why you
god.
learned like 3D modeling, is so you could do that. Even though you could
Exactly,
probably steal
exactly.
his 3D model somewhere.
Uh, oh,
Okay.
I did
No,
want to talk a little bit about this barrel. Um,
yeah, go ahead
so
before we go down the horrid list of questions.
yeah, I don't know. So a long, long time ago, before I was temp even, I went through a long period of time where I was like, oh, VTubing is cool. I like Hololive people. This is interesting. This is all new and fascinating. I want to be a VTuber too. And so I would come up with various like tuber personalities, and I think I had like 2 or 3 that I went through. This one, I'm pretty sure I scrubbed him from the internet or like abandoned it, so I don't mind talking about. This character is gonna be Tall Oakwood, I think I named him, like just TAL. And I don't know, he's just like a slime in a barrel. But maybe I'd put him in other things too, and I don't know, move him around or whatever. But never really worked out. I remember going around on like searching the internet, like, okay, there's no VTubers with the name Oakwood, right? There's no VTubers with the name Oakwood. And I found one guy whose like name was Professor Oakwood. He was just like a streamer. I'm like, it's over. I can't be this anymore. It's done. It's over. There's already somebody with my name out there. It's over. And I
I mean,
abandoned
now
it.
there's like 500 Loomies, so it doesn't matter if someone has like the same name.
Yeah, it's just funny looking back on it, like on baby content creators, like, oh, he's so cute. Like
I feel
so naive.
like the first couple of years of VTubing, a lot of people were hung up on trying to be like, I need original concept. I need to be the only blank VTuber, right? People are obsessed
Mhm.
with that.
Yeah, I think people just think too hard about it. Like they want the perfect start, they want the perfect setup, and they use that as an excuse to not do it. You know,
Yeah.
like they're afraid of starting, so they don't want to do it. So like, oh, I can't talk about this because I think it's one of the questions, but like it really is. It does feel like I don't know. I just kind of wanted to revisit that feeling of like when I was just starting out, like the fear of doing things because I didn't have self confidence or I didn't feel like it was just right. Kind of seeing where I am now, it's like, oh no, that's actually the complete wrong way to. You got to dive in head first. Sometimes you don't
Yeah.
have an intro prepped. You just got to do it anyways. You got to wing it.
You gotta fumble until you start, going.
Hmm, hmm.
You fumble until you learn how to move your legs kinda right, and then you just go. You just go.
You just go. You just go until you get tackled, and then it's fourth down, and you have to punt the ball, and then
And
your
then you're
coach
horribly
yells at you.
crippled and you have to retire early.
Yeah, brain damage, real bad brain damage. Like the worst they've seen at the hospital. Like they bring out like specialists out to see you. Like actual research scientists are coming to ask your permission to look at your information and like record your document your case.
I think they need to
Bad.
do that with some VTubers.
Yeah. Just
Maybe me. I don't know.
oh, oh, I hate my laugh now. I've got a wheezy laugh. Oh,
It don't matter. It's
oh,
okay.
it
It's
does
okay.
matter.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Just remember,
Yeah,
like, 5 people will see this. It's fine.
I'm
And
not
if they
worried
don't like
about
your laugh,
the things
then,
I put out here.
that's their issue, not yours. Okay. Here,
All right.
let's start with the questions. Are you ready? You ready for the first real question besides the dumb question?
Yeah, that wasn't a dumb question. Finfin
Okay.
rocks.
So, these are kind of like together, so I'll just say the first one. What Western artist, song, genre, culture thing has had the most influence on VTubers?
Oh, I can see it on the back screen there. Right, right. Okay, so the Western artist, song, genre, culture thing that had the most influence on VTubers. I'm gonna be honest, chat. I'm gonna be honest. This is my
There's no chat.
spiciest take.
There's no
Oh, whoops.
chat.
Shh, shh. I'm too used to this. I'll be honest. I'll be honest, chat. I'll be honest, chat. I can't help myself. I'll, I'll be honest. I am not that much of a watcher of VTubers. Even when I'm not streaming that much. For some reason I can't bring myself to watch many VTubers for like a long time. I feel like I did a lot before, and nowadays I don't watch as much. So in terms of like knowing larger sorts of like trends and stuff, I'm the old man yelling at people to get off his lawn.
Well, what's your old man opinion on like past VTubers you watched then?
Hmm. Western artist, song, genre, culture thing. Most on.
Like, when would you say you were the most active? Like, what year? What you were watching, right?
Oh, absolutely pandemic. During that whole period, I was like, that's when Phase Connect saved me. Honestly, I got to watch a lot of them and really appreciate a lot of stuff they do. That's why I'm such a big Phase Connect fan. It's like during that time. Um, that's big. Definitely my biggest influence. Clicking into Phase Connect when I had nothing but free time on my hands. Like I don't
I
know.
wonder what.
It was nice to see so many different perspectives, different streaming styles.
I don't think like one singular big thing influenced people besides just like anime, right? Just
Yeah, I mean,
anime.
just anime in general, right? I think it's interesting to see how the culture has developed on like its own momentum. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just it feels like everyone wants to go with the flow of everyone else. So like designs kind of go a certain way, and ways of delivering content go a certain way. It's kind of like everyone streams now and doesn't do like um, straight up videos or whatever. It feels like
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
just kind of follows along with the flow, and I don't know if that's like trying to chase the numbers or if it's just the easiest way to do things. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah. Like it's either short content, like literally shorts on YouTube or like TikTok, or like long term or long form like streams.
Mm-hmm.
Even like videos, people really like the long essays now, just so they can have it on in the background and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the like 2 minute video or 5 minute video is like people don't care as much anymore.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I know when I like to see like I would put up those like stupid hour-long YouTube diatribes. Those are usually the ones I like to listen to in the background. But I don't know. It feels like VTubers don't really like lean well into that sort of thing. If it would give it like kind of a like the visuals would look like a naked Jake. Like it doesn't seem right that he's sitting there on that little ball throughout the whole video. It's kind of funny the way he
Well,
does
there,
it, but
I
like
made a
for VTubers,
joke
it's just like the model doesn't quite fit in.
that
Look.
like VTubers are so there's like something, you know, like the commentary people that did videos and they had like something to represent themselves. That's like the rant
Mm.
sona, and they're technically PNG tubers with their rant sona.
The Rantsona. Oh, the PNG tuber. Yeah, actually. Oh, yeah. I know. Okay. Wow, I stand corrected. Yeah. Wow. Actually, the Rantsonas. That's totally a thing.
Like I'm surprised more of them didn't get something kind of like a live 2D, right? So then they can like have
Yeah.
more movement. But
I.
I I think it filters them because right, because it's related to anime and like idol lightly stuff, not as much anymore. So like that filters them, like
Oh,
the
the
rant
idol
sonas.
aspect.
Yeah, they
Or.
just like ew anime, ew.
Hmm. Yeah, they just want to get angry at stuff. Hmm. I think. I think it's interesting to see the influence that idol culture has on VTubing, especially since I think idol culture isn't. Well, maybe it's my perspective. It doesn't feel as like as important in Western culture as it is
Oh yeah,
in
it's
the
been
good old land
fading
of Japan.
as the years go on.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm happy for that. I'm not a bit. I don't like idol culture at all. Costumes are
I
cute, but
I like the positive sides of it, right? Because then you get cute girls doing cute things, song and dance, right? And
mhm.
then there's all the negative stuff, like the
Negative stuff.
standards, and you have to be like, you know, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, the insanely high pressure on these young women, and them to like live two lives in the space of one. Hey,
Oh
that
yeah,
sounds like VTubers right now.
yeah. Again, you can never fully separate it because you know. Okay, then the second part of the question was, what music genre, song, band fits you as a person slash VTuber persona? Now, what influences you?
Oh man, these questions are bad for me. I'm not somebody who listens to a lot of like songs and music. I typically listen to like old video game music. I used to
Well,
play and
you could
whatnot.
just say like genre. Like, what genre do you usually go to? Unless it's like a weird genre you don't even know the name of.
If I had to put my finger on one thing, it'd probably be the Valhalla OST. I play that all the time in my streams, but it really just has like a nice variety. It's kind of like electronic, and there's like a lot of chill music, some high. I don't know. It's a good mix, and I really like.
Then like any like art or cultural thing, like anything you like. Oh, I love this like type of art style, or like weird cultural thing, which
Art
I guess would be like
style,
anime.
yeah, anime's good. I like really loose, artistic, like experimental stuff. So like there's the gonna bring Space Dandy. There's the couple of Space Dandy episodes where it's like it gets really weird animation. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah. It's
there's
because
like the
I think
plant
they brought on
episode and then
guest
the fish.
animators, so that's why like the
Yeah.
style changes, because they just go off of what other guest animator did.
Mm. No, like one of my favorite animes ever is called Kaiba. It's done in this very like old like robot boys like kind of like proportion style. It's really like loose artistically. It's like really out there. It's really experimental. I love that. Just that kind of aesthetic is so I don't know. It's so pleasing to me. I like it. But
I feel like you're following that because you're literally a blob in a barrel. You're your true form.
yeah, the idea is I was gonna call it. Okay, so in Toho, you have the gap yokai. What's her name? Yukari, and like the idea is like she can manipulate the spaces between spaces. She's like in the gaps reality. So I was like, okay, I'll make a gap slime. Did not think to look that up in Urban Dictionary before I made up that term, but the idea was that I would I don't know, maybe I'd be under like a manhole or like in a flower pot or something. And I just like make different like flat assets to put my guy under and like kind of wiggle around with the hat. That's the original idea for the character.
That would have been a fun creative like thing.
Hmm.
You changed it up.
Yeah, yeah, but I didn't want to stream. I just wanted to have streamed and then be interviewed by people for being famous. So,
This is
uh, so naive.
so
Still am.
naive.
Still am.
If you could
Mhm.
grind up any VTuber into a gimmick food item for McDonald's, who and what food?
Mm. So I like the burgers. JP McDonald. So which one is the meatiest VTuber? Which one's the meatiest? Uh, maybe Erina from Phase Connect Gen 2.
And
Probably
you
has
could
like
turn
lean
her into a
muscle.
hamburger.
Yeah, yeah. I think she'd make for good meat. Be good taste.
This is
You got to think
well,
about the food. You got to think about the taste of it. Like,
well,
why am I
technically,
grinding them up?
you kind of did grind up a burger VTuber. Remember that?
Oh, oh man, that's a callback. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
I
you want to
did
explain
grind him up.
that?
I ground that boy up. Turned him into a burger. Oh, that was fun. Fun one.
It's, here, you want to
Those of you
explain
don't,
that?
yeah, I'll
The
explain
whole
it. Yeah.
concept of that? The arc?
So early on, probably a few months into when I started like doing VTuber activities, Flavor was young. We were still just kind of like messing around with Pippa mostly. I had an idea from a long time ago. I don't know, for years at that point, where like you would do a VTuber debut and or not a debut, but you for a week you would stream yourself making a live 2D model and like putting together a whole VTuber debut and like doing all that stuff, and then you debut, and then on the same day you would just delete the model and never kind of like in exercise, like kind of like the when the Buddhist monks like draw up like a mandala with sand and then they like blow it away or they like put it all together. Um, just kind of like an exercise in transient. So I did that. The stream is so scuffed because I had no experience as a VTuber, so I feel so bad. The audio quality sucked ass, but I got to see one of my ideas come to life. It was a nice little thing. So in terms of burgers, I would give that one a 10 out of 10. That was a burger.
Boy got devoured at the end by that trash can. Absolutely
Hmm.
annihilated.
Not by the, I ate him. I enjoyed that meal. I didn't trash can him. I ate him.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
I guess I did put him in the recycle bin. Yeah, actually I did.
well, you put the
No,
wrapper away. You ate the burger and then you threw away the wrapper.
there's some sort of metaphor here that we can make about this, but
I mean, everything can be a
on it.
metaphor if you think about it long enough. Okay, next question. You could choose 5 VTubers to be in a death game anime. Who would it be? They would all have to suffer? I like that part. They would all have to suffer, Temp. Who are the 5? List them
Um,
now.
so so okay, first of all, this death game anime would have to be Danganronpa. It has to be. Number 2, Emmy and Leah have to be in it. I want to see them do it. And then number 3, I'd probably put Sheena in there because come on. Like she there's some Danganronpa tweets going on a while ago, and like Sheena's like, yeah, you never see me being in a Danganronpa because I just kill myself.
Well, I
Just
feel
kill
like
myself.
most
Like, she just like
VTubers would do
tweeted it
that.
straight up. She straight
I
up
feel.
tweeted that. It was just so funny.
Damn. Okay, that's
But
3.
yeah,
Need
Leah
2
and Amy are
more.
like huge Danganronpa fans, so I think they go all out and just like try to murder each other. So that'd be fun to watch. The last two, um, okay, I want. What else would I want? Maybe I think a NASA. There we go. NASA would be like so crazy. He's like the secret tsundere, right? Not
Not to
tsundere.
answer it for you, but I think like Brolime or something. I feel like that's a Sheena though. He's just another Sheena.
Yeah, he is just another Sheena. He's just another Sheena. No, the last one would actually be Mumi because she doesn't stream. I want to see what she'd be like. I think that'd be a good, interesting
Who do you think would
dynamic.
be the last person at the end?
Um, okay, definitely not Sheena. Amy and Leah would like go all out trying to kill each other. Who was the fourth one I said?
God, HD made me forget.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
NASA. I bet it would be
Yeah.
NASA. I bet it'd be NASA. I think Moonby could hold everyone together, but NASA would just like secretly stab everyone.
Yeah, she's the stealth. Unless you go for
She's
the
the
irony
stealth.
twist and it's Sheena. You think she's gonna die first, but she's like somehow wins.
Oh, I faked my death the whole time. That sort of
She
trope. Oh
faked her
yeah.
death and she was hiding in the locker the whole entire time with her bee plushie.
She was hanging by she hung herself from the ceiling, but like at the very end, like well, like like Leah's laying on the ground bleeding out. She sees Cena lift herself out of the noose and drop back down to the ground.
Oh, that'd
Swallowed an
be
iron
great.
pipe down her throat so it didn't break her neck. Oh, I really want to. I would love to do a Danganronpa fan game. No
I'll make that
time,
into an interesting VN. It's just you have to write it all.
definitely. Yep, write it all and get a few assets.
Okay. Next question. What is your opinion on the state of the VTuber sphere? Is there something you'd like to see change or see more of?
Mm, yeah, I would like to see more video content and less stream. No, not, well, I don't need less streaming, but a lot of the things I like to watch in my free time, um, I'll admit, very normie tastes. Things like Let's Game It Out, or there's like a lot of world content I watch. Embarrassing. They're typically like 30-minute. Not that I follow. So
Yeah,
like
so
seeing
you would
video
want.
content that maybe VTubers would do, but again, I don't know how well that really works with the
Well,
tubers.
I mean, that's how it started. It used to be scripted videos, like short
Yeah.
form like videos, and then people realized, oh, if you pair social with the VTuber on live stream, it's so much better. And
Oh yeah,
then
the parasocial aspect makes it so.
yeah, so then everyone kind of like dumps the little shorts, and then we got VTubing as we know it now.
Yeah.
So
Maybe less shorts focus, less like I don't know. Shorts are also kind of fun. Kind of fun to like scroll through
by short, I mean just short videos, not
highlights.
the short form
Oh, well that's what I
tube thing.
yeah. I don't know. I mean I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like I said, I find it hard to like focus on streams a lot these days. I can watch I don't know. When I there's somebody at Parasocial like Brolime or Fodum Ruptor, I find it, fun to interact with them through stream, but in terms of just like a well, even like Phase Connect these days, I just can't hold my interest. So I don't know what I'd like. I'd like to see a new format, a new kind of video kind of approach. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, and I think most people don't know what that is yet. No one's figured it out yet. No one's tried.
um, they might have tried, but there's probably a literal who's,
Yeah,
not
lost
getting
in
the
the
views that they need.
crowd, sadly. Next question. I feel like you recovered mentally since stepping away from streaming. If you do decide to come back and stream, even occasionally, what do you think you'd prioritize to make your own experience better slash healthier?
Mm, so I mean, this one zips into a little bit more serious topic, but I've been burnt out for a very long time, years and before I even started VTubing. So, I mean, this is I have not recovered mentally. I'm actually doing pretty well in Japan. I'm finally in a place where I feel like I'm enjoying my work and like I'm happy to be there every day. It's not like I'm afraid to, I want, oh, I gotta go to work today. It's more like, oh, it's a weekend. I don't actually get to go and see the kids anymore. Oh, kind of sad. So that sort of thing helps me out mentally. But I don't know. I have not recovered mentally getting away from streaming. I want to get back into doing it more regularly. But for me, the content I want to create right now is I don't know. 3D modeling, honestly, fun for me. So, to make your experience happier and healthier and better, I think you just gotta. It's tough. It's tough. Can't let yourself get into the numbers because then that's just not gonna help you. You gotta focus on what you want down and not the things you're telling yourself that you want. Like, oh, I really want that. I really want to hit the 1,000 subscribers mark so I can get this milestone. Um, you gotta ask yourself, why do I want that milestone? Is it really that important to me? Because sometimes you can get wrapped up in like quest for higher number or the quest for more social recognition. You're not, checking in with yourself and realizing I'm really not enjoying this. I'm not happy. When you get into that sort of cycle, then you start getting worn down, and that's when burnout happens. You gotta, I don't know, gotta be able to check in with yourself, I think, and make sure that you're doing the things you want to do, not just because you feel like you have to, because you want to chase that sort of thing. But then, because you're working on your own whims, you don't get anything done because you're just working on, going off your own whims. So it's a
Mm,
balance. It's a balancing act.
yeah, it's a
Uh,
balance. You have to have some achievable goals, but not goals that'll drive you insane. So then you keep on
mhm,
track. But you also need some of
yeah,
that whimsy that like just do what you
the
kind of want.
whimsy, the whimsy. Yeah, you need the whimsy for sure. Can't be silly about things, then that's just no good. But I don't know. I probably can't do a programmer job still just because I'm still burnt out. So I don't consider myself recovered in any way whatsoever. But hey, that's okay.
Mm, I
We're
mean,
working on
is
it.
that your goal? Is to be like recovered from the coding thing?
Yes, that is my long-term goal. My long-term goal has always been to be a better hard worker, to be able to get back to the point where I can make myself do the hard work I want to be able to do. When I tell myself, okay, I'm going to make this model and do this, I will actually sit down and do it and not just like, I don't know, wimp out the next day because I'm like feeling not, I'm not feeling up. I want to, I want to get back to the hard worker I used to. That's always been a goal of mine. Definitely
Yeah,
not
that's
there yet.
hard.
Yeah, it is hard, it is hard. It it's too much, honestly, I'll never I mean, when you get older, you
Uh,
start losing
so,
your faculties, so I'll
yeah.
never be back there.
Sometimes you also have to accept you may not be at like your prime or peak, right, in your younger years, right? So you just have to figure out, well, what is my current peak, right? For me
Yep,
right now, what is my current peak?
yep. You gotta be honest with where you are and not where you feel like you I don't
Yeah,
know,
don't
it's
get
it's it's
tied up
a
in the
it's a it's a weird
past.
question, so just being able to be in touch with reality and your own feelings, very, very important. I wish I knew that when I was a teenager, college student. It would have helped me out a lot.
I mean, that's with most stuff, right? You wish you knew it earlier, but you gotta
Yeah,
live.
yeah.
You gotta live to
You
learn
really
it. And even if people tell you, you won't understand it until you live it.
you never really learn lessons until you physically experience them. People can
Till you
tell you
touch that
things.
hot stove and you're like, oh yeah, it is hot. I shouldn't have touched that.
Yeah. You never really know how bad heat exhaustion is until you experience it. Then you actually take it seriously.
Okay. Next question. If the current Minna hadn't showed up, how long do you think you would have gone as Temp Minna?
Uh, it was gonna stop right where I stopped. If I remember right, I think I was contacted by her or maybe Miliardo, like about a day before the video, my farewell video went off. It was like, "Yo, is it okay to use Mina?" Like, "Yeah, I'm already the 3rd Mina, I think, so it's fine. You can do what you want. It's
Oh,
not
was your
my
foot already
not
like
my
out
IP."
the door with the Minna? Or did you just go,
Hmm?
okay, yeah, I'm pulling the
Oh,
plug right
no.
now?
The entire time I was okay, so basically I was making the model. When it blew up because Pippa did the video reviewing all the stuff, I freaked out. I had like not panic attacks, but I was like so nervous. I've told the story over and over, but like I literally just could not eat most of those days. Like there's one day I went to the grocery store, picked up a sandwich because I hadn't eaten anything that day. I took it home, took a bite, bit it back out in the sink, put the sandwich away, and like went back to work. Couldn't. I was so stressed out about it. Um, for a shit model too. But
Oh, it's pretty. Still have it downloaded. I still have it.
that's probably the other one. That's probably the Romania Chan version. Um, but what was I gonna say? The point I'm making is like I looked into voice changers because I was like, if I'm gonna do Minna, then I need to be able to uh have a nice voice. I just couldn't find any good options, so I was like, well, there's no way I'm gonna continue this. And I mean, when I started with the Minna Vanilla one, I literally wanted to just shit post with it. So that's why the name Temp was there. From the very start, it was temporary. I think when I saw the fame it could get, I wanted to wheel it into maybe being longer, but I couldn't do it with the voice, so I just gave up on it. No, from the very start, it was going to be temporary, thus temp.
Next question. How do you stay focused when working both on and off stream?
So I don't find it too hard to stay focused when I'm already focused. The big problem for me is getting there. So usually there's about an hour long hump that I have to, you know, schlep over before I can get to that point. It's hard for me to say. I think ritual can help you. If you have like a set sort of procedure that you go through every time. For me, it's like cracking open the Mountain Dew, putting on some sort of like video game OST like Donkey Kong or something, and then sitting down and then just being with the problem for a while. Not necessarily like working hard, but just thinking about it and working on it and just being comfortable. And then after an hour, I'll slip into like the work state. The OST will hit the end, and I'll forget to reset the music, and I'll be working in silence for like 3 hours about it. Um, that's my best case scenario, I guess. But so for like you got to find a way to get past the initial hump of, oh, this sucks. I don't want to do the work. I want to do something else. I don't want to be here. You can get past that little bit. I think it's not hard to keep you going. Also helps not to helps it also helps to live alone without any like pets or anything that could distract you.
Oh yeah, people just coming in and like breaking your focus.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I have that a lot. Oh, it's awful.
Living alone, both a blessing and a curse. For me, the biggest uh barrier is that initial start. Gotta find like what I would suggest to you is review times when you were very productive. Figure out what you did to get to that state. Like what was the lead up? Were you super happy about it? Like excited to work on it? Weren't like how did you get yourself there? Like a lot of art, almost all art is just finding your own way through like it feels to me like cutting your way through a jungle, right? Like you can get tools and you can like figure out how people have done it in the past, but when it comes to the actual going through the jungle, you have to cut your own path no matter what. It feels like you're just finding a way through, like, whatever works, right? Uh, and so I, when it comes to finding your own way to find, to hit that focus, you got to find your own way, and you have to, I don't know, he's got to work with the tools you have and be honest and look at what you've done and try to figure out the best way, keep moving forward. I don't know, review what you've done. Don't think I
Yeah,
summed it up very well,
sometimes
but
no,
but
that's pretty good. And sometimes you have to make your own tools, right? So if you don't
hmm
have any tools out, you just have to figure out how do I make a tool? How do I somehow figure myself out, right?
yep,
Which is
yep, yep.
self-review. I mean, I figured out if I listen to a certain type of music, I am like I can get into the groove and just start going, right?
Mm. That sounds nice, yeah. But yeah, like just experiment a lot. Just try a bunch of different approaches, and when one works for you, like just slam on it hard. Just
And also don't
refine
get
it.
hung
Figure out
up
why
if
why it
like it
works.
works sometimes, but then it doesn't work later, right? And be like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
working,
I
it's
mean,
not working. You just gotta relax, right? You just gotta
hmm
relax. I think sometimes it's just pressure,
oh yeah,
right? Is you
pressure
get
will
too wound
definitely.
up in the pressure of like starting and like everything. You just gotta be like, it's fine. Like, don't think like a billion steps ahead. Be like, okay, I'm just gonna open the program and then I'm gonna make a cube, right? And then you just
Yep,
start going.
that definitely helps. Like yeah, it's kind of a meme. You always see it like, but like break down your tasks into like the smallest possible bite-sized steps. Got to focus on what's in front of you.
Okay, let's move on to the Japan section, the fun Japan section. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I definitely should have thought more about the mythology.
No, that's fine. It's fine. You're doing good. Okay. Next
Ooh, I'm getting
question.
praised. I'm getting praised. Yay.
What is your favorite and least favorite thing about living in Japan?
Hmm. I don't think I like can keep it to one. Uh, So summer in Japan is unbearable. It's unbearable because it like hits like 100 degrees Fahrenheit for your little Americans out there. But the problem is the humidity is so high. It's so high that you're just always sweating. Like there's days I would go into school and like just paper, all paper felt like a little damp to the touch because the humidity is so dang high. Just
It's
all
fucking
paper.
awful.
Horrible. It's horrible. So summer is just god awful here. Never come to Japan during summer. It's horrifying.
Like everywhere in
Um,
Japan, or just like the area you're in?
Basically everywhere. You'll probably find like Hokkaido up north, but just avoid Japan in summer. It's it's like it's the combination of heat and humidity that just makes it terrible.
Oh yeah, it's like
Um,
Florida. You're living in like soup, hot soup.
mm, okay, so my favorite thing here's a favorite thing. Uh, I don't take advantage of this enough, but because I live in Japan, shipping times here are fucking insane. Like I can order something online and I could get it like the next day or 2 day, in 2 days, like as latest. It feels like I don't know. It's just the system here of like mail and like delivery stuff is just like so convenient. I'm happy about that.
I think you can get that in big cities in America, but I live in the
Maybe.
bumfuck of nowhere, so it's like, well, this is gonna take a week or two to get to me. At like
Yep.
fastest, God help me.
Yep, I've been there a lot of my life. I think I've only lived in like a big city for like a few years out of mine. It's yeah, I should have prepared this more ahead of time.
No, it's okay.
I
Let's go with the flow.
I like the train system here is really really nice. Like um just like public transportation here is really powerful. They really focused on it hard. So even though I'm like in a small area, more of a rural area, there's still a lot of public transportation here, so it's not that hard to get around Tokyo and whatnot. Might take a little bit of time, but it's like really cheap, convenient.
I think they're like,
Um,
aren't they like the best country for transportation? Or at least like
Probably.
top probably three?
Probably, yeah, I think so. I guess least favorite thing. I don't like how I don't like how they're forcing kids to learn English. It's so silly.
Well,
Like I understand why
that's
it's
how you get
important, but
paid.
like
You're getting paid for
yeah, it is
that,
how I
Tim.
get paid, but it's like I get to live the experience of watching kids in American schools try to take Spanish class and not giving a fuck, you know? It's so annoying. It's like I know you're never going to use this in your life, but please take an interest in English. It's cool. It's cool. The grammar's cool. But like it's just I don't know. Trying to teach kids who don't want to learn English. English makes a lot of like really shitty English come out, and like the results are abysmal. And man, it's tough. It's tough. There's a few kids who are like interested in English, but the language wall between English and Japanese is so thick, so high. It's just these poor
Really,
kids are
because they're
not. They're
so
going to come
like
out with
polar
trauma. They're going to come out with
opposites.
trauma. They are polar opposites in a lot of ways. I think that's why it's so difficult for them to learn it. And then like the pronunciation is just so different. Like they can't hear some of the sounds properly. Like I have some troubles hearing their like so like there's like a couple sounds I can't hear. At least it's not Chinese. Chinese is insane.
Yeah, Chinese.
Pronunciation's
It's
insane.
very dense. There's like a billion things. And
It's
it's so
so funny because like when you hear about Chinese, you always hear like the ma 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 like that sort of thing. And like when I've heard like my Japanese coworkers talk about Chinese, that's the exact example they bring up. Is like,
this is just
holy shit. 中国語では本当にまあまあまあまあのこと、違う意味があるけど、同じですけど like that sort of thing. Sorry,
yeah.
you can cut that
This
out.
is yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just
It's
wanted to
okay.
flex a little bit. I gotta speak a little
I
bit
was
of
about to say you're
Japanese.
flexing on me. You're flexing on poor me. You know, I tried to learn Japanese for a week and I'm like, I hate this. I can't do it.
Yeah. I would suggest not learning Japanese unless you're a freak of nature. Um, I love I love language grammar. I love language grammar. I think it's the coolest thing ever. So that's why I was able to learn Japanese because Japanese language like grammar. If English was like building like a structure, like creating a
Yeah, yeah.
building, Japanese grammar is like a river. It just flows and it's so smooth and you can just do what you want as long as you're going with the flow. It works. So
Just because
cool.
English is like a hodgepodge language. It takes from like
Yeah.
what 3 or 4, and it just
So much.
mashes it
Yeah.
together. And it's like,
I
well,
mean,
we'll just adapt also all the rules, even though they like conflict, and we'll just shove it in there. We'll just shove it in there. It's
yeah.
fine.
So like one example of that, interestingly enough, let's take the word pretty and beautiful. When you want to do a
Yeah.
comparative version of that, you say, she is prettier than her. Um, Honko is prettier than Pippa or something. But when you use beautiful, you say Uruka is more beautiful than Pippa, right? You don't say beautifuler, you say more beautiful. And
Yeah.
I think if I remember right, the reason for that is that one is like a like Greek root and the other one's like a Latin root. That's it. I can't remember for sure. But like just small things like that in Japanese. Like this poor Japanese kid's like, well, why is it prettier but not beautifuler? What's the difference? What are you gonna tell that kid? Oh, it depends on like the ancient language root this comes from. You have to know each one individually, you know? Each word's gonna be different. You have to know it.
I understand your your students, because I'm also like that. That's why I'm awful at language. I'm like, why? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in
Yeah.
my brain.
That's why I want to
'Cause it
tell these
doesn't.
kids. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay if you make a spelling mistake. You're making less mistakes than the average American child at your age. I promise you. I promise you.
Oh, I hear it's hell over here. Like if you're trying to teach, I think it's middle school and below, is like god
Oh
awful.
God.
Like it's really
Yeah,
bad
TikTok
now
brain.
apparently.
Oh no. Yeah. I see.
And like kids are just
Yeah.
not caring, and they still have to pass them. So you get people that just don't fucking know anything, and you just have to pass them.
Yeah. That is I've heard. It's bad. Maybe it's because I'm in a more rural spot, but these kids that I'm teaching are really nice and actually genuinely good. They're kind. They're not stuck on their phones. So it's really I'm really lucky where I'm at right now.
Next question. Temp, who are you wearing? Whatever Gucci or the other one. I can't even say these brand names. All I know is
Okay, let me
Gucci.
look at the board. Prada, Gucci, and Balenciaga?
Yep. Oh, it's that
Balenciaga.
one. I didn't know how to spell it.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what that one is.
I
So
think
actually,
it's.
let me flip my shirt around so I can see the back, so I can tell you the year that I got this shirt that I'm wearing. U.S. Lumber Company Corp. Yeah, I'm not going back to my laundry basket, but let's see. I have a t-shirt I still wear at home and sometimes outside if I have like a coat. It's probably from like 2017. I'm a programmer at heart, so I have like just a bunch of old t-shirts I've collected over the years. And then I
That's
have
not
like
as bad as I was thinking. I was like, are you gonna say it's like from early 2000s and you just been wearing it this whole time?
no, no. But I have like two good pairs of jeans. By good, I mean one has a big hole in the crotch and the other one has like a small hole. And yeah, that's what I wear mostly. I have some nicer clothes that I use for the school, but uh mostly I'm a programmer t-shirt kind of guy. Don't have the fancy programmer socks. Not yet. Maybe I'll get some this Christmas. Okay. We'll see.
No, no. Well, even though you're burnt out on like coding and programming, you can't beat it out of you. Old life still
No,
with you no
no.
matter what.
That's the worst thing. I genuinely feel like I was born to program, be a programmer. Like it's the thing I jive with the most and I love passionately, but it got I got knocked out of me by working corporate job. Uh,
I feel like most aren't made for that, but they have to, right?
most what are made for that?
Not made for like a big corporate, like hard, like coding, right? You're in the fucking mines for hours on every day. Just gotta go, 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 go.
Yeah, it's the development style of just find the biggest fire and start pissing on it. Yep.
Okay.
Not good
Related
for your health.
question
Oh yeah.
to the what you're wearing. Since you've been in Japan, have you tried to adapt look fashion wise to fit, or did it always feel like you stand out? You go in opposite directions and peacock a bit. If you were teaching, I'd figure they would force you into some degree of formality. But I'm curious about how you personally felt and adapted over time.
Okay. There's a couple of things like come to mind about this. But in terms of self-awareness, I typically have little unless I'm trying hard to have some. So I don't think that much about what I'm wearing out in public. Although I for the first year I was in Japan or so, I felt very self-conscious. I'm like, "Oh, I'm the gaijin here. I gotta fit in. I gotta be nice." I was always on the lookout around my, surroundings to make sure I'm following what everyone else is doing. So I was very uptight and nervous. Not about clothes, but more about just not wanting to stand out. Definitely didn't want to stand out. But over time, I've kind of realized, nobody gives a shit. Just Japanese. Japanese people are people too. Everyone's humans deep down, so they might hide it a little harder than other cultures, but you can see it definitely with the kids. There's still the same type of personality that you have in American kids and stuff. But in terms of like at work, I have to be really careful because some days it'll be like, oh, there's parent teacher conferences going on. So I'll go into that day and I'll have like khakis and like kind of like a more casual, kind of like half button up t-shirt or whatever. And then like I'll look around and everyone's wearing suits and ties. I'm like, oh God. Oh God, I didn't dress up enough. I didn't dress up enough. But like, when you're in ALT, you're the foreigner. So nobody really cares what you wear. Nobody gives a shit. They're just like, oh, he's just a weirdo. Just ignore him. Like but yeah, there's so many times there I'll go to like a drinking party and like I'm not sure about like what level of formality I need to, to wear. So like one time I went there and like everyone was wearing a suit and looking super dapper and I just had like jeans and a t-shirt and like the only other guy who
What?
was like dressed down low was like the groundskeeper for the school. We were just both standing
Damn.
out like sore thumbs. It's like, oh, come on. Somebody warn me, please. I need to know what I need to wear. But
I would start
and then I
taking
dressed
notes
up
like,
really
okay, during this certain thing, I need to wear this, whatever. So if they say this, that
Yeah.
clearly means that.
Yeah, it's tough though because they all speak in Japanese, and I don't know if you know, that's a tough language. But,
I don't know, yours is
um,
pretty impressive, at least for my untrained weeaboo ears.
so if they talk down to me, I can keep like, I'm perfectly capable of, like, keeping a conversation, holding up. Like, actually, the last drinking party, I almost cried because I felt like I was, like, finally there. Like, I finally hit the point where I'm, like, fitting in, and I feel like I can converse fine. We're joking with each other.
Yeah.
There's a couple of teachers I'm working with right now who are really they love setting up like, they love joking around, so, like, they'll toss me, like, a softball, and I'll, like, hit it back at them, and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, he gets it." It's really nice. I definitely try to fit in as much as I can, but it's come to the point where I realize, like, it is okay to peacock a little. You don't wanna, like, just a nobody, right? You wanna have some and since you're the guy Gokujin, since you're the foreigner, you can stand out a little bit, and they won't, you know, "Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
just."
expected. It's expected of
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
So it's fine if you do it.
You're not Johnny
Yeah.
Somali, so you're okay.
This is just yeah, so long
You're
as
not
like
twerking on, like, comfort women statues, you know?
yeah, so long as you're like normal, like a normal human about things, even if you're wearing like the most casual American outfit, they won't fucking care.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's really fun when it's, like, a proper holiday. There was, like when it was Sakura season, people like to go out and drink under the sakura trees. I remember I was walking home and these 3 guys were just stumbling around, like, almost blind drunk. One of them fell over in the road, and the other 2 tried to pull him back up, and I came over and helped him, and he's like, "Oh, thank you, thank you." He was, like, talking to me about, like, baseball and shit. It was so funny.
This is
Japanese people are, like, they're really kind. It's just their culture makes them, like, bottle up and keep closed, so only in, like, those moments where they really let loose, like, when they've been drinking. They're so funny, so interesting people. I've heard people say that Japanese people have, like, like, they don't understand sarcasm or they, don't have a good sense of humor or something like that. That is so false. That is so false.
just a question, Temp. You could bring
Yes.
one food to Japan, would have the same quality as the US. What would it be? Also, food from any other country.
Tacos. Tacos. Oh my god, please, tacos. Bring tacos to Japan. Holy shit, I crave tacos. I crave burritos. I need Mexican food. They don't have it here. Oh my god. I'd have to go to Tokyo to get that stuff. It drives me nuts. There's no good tacos here.
I mean, you are the farthest away from like Mexico. You can be.
You say that, but there's actually like a huge Japanese population in Brazil, right? Like that they
Yeah,
actually
really? What the
import
fuck?
a shit ton of, is it chicken or beef? One or the other. They import a shit ton of chicken or beef from Brazil. Oh, no, 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 it's not beef, so it's gotta be chicken. But, yeah, yeah, like, a long time ago, like, there's, like, Japanese kinda, like, went out to, like, they were immigrating out from Japan. This is, like, late 1800s, I think, maybe early 1900s, and, like, one of the places that they went to Brazil. So there's, like, a large population of Brazilian Japanese there. In fact, like, when I went to high school, there was a foreign exchange student who was a Japanese Brazilian mix. Um,
So weird. I would never
it is
expect
weird, isn't it?
Brazil out of like
Mhm.
everything.
Yep. I
Yet
think
they
it's just
don't bring
because it was
back
a big
tacos.
country. I know! What the hell? It drives me so I'm so angry. All you can get is, like, these really shitty what is it? Old Casa? La Casa? Like, it's the same brand as in America, but they're, like they're loaded up with, like, preservatives or something so they don't, like, mold over, and so they taste, like, terrible. I can't make good tacos here.
No, I don't know. America loves
I'm genuinely
preservatives.
upset.
They love putting chemicals in their foods. I feel like it would be the
How can
same-ish
I
if it's
how can I put it? Because of the humidity in Japan, I think it's this, and also because it's, like,
oh.
literally it's like a jungle. It's, like, literally tropical climate almost, like, the forests here look like jungles. Um, I think shit just molds over very quickly. Like, I can get, like, a pack of bananas, like, in America, and I can, like, leave it on the counter for, like, I don't know, 4 days or something like that, and I can still eat them just fine. If I bring them in Japan, I have to eat them, like, multiple a day or else they mold over very quickly.
Is that why Japan's so like hard on food quality? Is because they literally it has to be because of the like humidity?
That's kind of my guess. That's my guess, but it's just yeah, mold here is kinda I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess there's probably places in America too where it's, like, pretty humid, you have to worry a lot about, mold, but my experiences here have been, like, mold is pretty common. So I got the carbo killer, whatever it's called here.
Damn, is that why some JP VTubers are insane? Because they got like mold in their house even more so than like an American one?
Probably. I have to keep up
Inhaling
on
that
my
spore.
shower a lot. Keep up on my shower, it's really annoying.
They had
Please.
tacos. Actually,
Tacos. God, please, tacos. I like, when I went back to America for, like, a couple weeks, I when I went to visit my sister and I could eat as much fast food as I wanted, I just ate not Chipotle, Qdoba, like, as much as I could. I was so craving it so badly. Just cheese and beef and, like, a nice tortilla, just oh my god, I crave it so bad. Oh, man.
this is
Oh, I miss fucking
actually
food.
there's a lot of South American countries that also have like very fucking high humidity because literally, jungle. I wonder
Yeah.
how they deal with that in their food. I don't know. Probably different laws, different care. Again, Japan really hard on like food quality, right?
I think so, yeah.
Next question. After living in Japan for a bit, is there anything about people or the culture there that still feels really alien to you? Like difficult to understand, or maybe you're used to it but still seems super strange compared to people and culture you grew up with?
So there's the whole sort of oh, what is it called? There's the idea of the front face and then like the back face. I think it's omote and ura. It's the idea that Japanese people have like a mask that they wear around people, to interact with socially, and then like the person who you are behind the mask only really gets let out when you like. So, yeah, it's called omote and ura. It's the public face and the private face. So it's just like, yeah, that idea that like, when you're working or you're interacting with people, you have like a very public facing face that's polite. It's you're there to deal with people and like be polite and like interact good. And then like the back face is how you truly feel on the inside. The thing that gets me about this concept, the thing that gets me about this concept is that Japanese people think it's good. Like it's a virtue to have that omote, the front, the public face. And as an American, I think we're kind of like we think of it like you shouldn't have a mask up. You should be your real self. You should always be able to express yourself and be who you are. I think that's like a virtue in America, and in Japanese, it's actually a good thing to have. A good proper outward face that you can rely on to help smooth through social situation. And so it's just
Guess
I don't
it's
know
because of the
what
shame culture they have, right? Like if you stick
um
out, you need to be hammered back in, right? So that front-facing mask helps you be in line
Mm,
with everything, right? Keep things running smooth.
yeah. They say "Dedukui tareru," something like that. Like the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. Yeah, like stuff like that is actually kind of like a virtue. I think it's like a good thing to them, which just it's hard for me to rationalize that. It's hard for me to believe.
I can
So
I
it's
understand, but it's also just like crazy, right? I can understand why they think that
yeah,
because it keeps things running, right? If everyone
that
acts polite, nice, right? Then things move smoothly. You don't have people like causing mayhem or whatever, right? Because like it's
yeah,
that shame
you don't
pressure, stuff like
yeah,
that,
you don't
everything
want to
go
like
good.
you don't want to like impose. You don't want to be a troublemaker. That's the thing. You don't want to like
Yeah.
make trouble. You don't want to meiwaku o you don't want to like just be a nuisance. So I think honestly the Japanese mindset, maybe you've heard of this, but I think it goes back to like the way that they were a long time ago, Hormone era or whatever, when they were like I don't know, early hundreds AD or maybe even before that, when they were mostly just like rice farm communities.
Yeah.
Everyone had to work together in order to make
Yeah.
the rice farm work. Everyone had to cooperate. And so there's such a strong emphasis on community and tight close, tight knittedness, that if you were like ejected from the community, outcast, then that was basically certain death. Uh, so like there's just like such a strong emphasis on working, kind of been part of like the Japanese
I
collective
feel like
consciousness for a long
in
time.
America we kind of had that like way back, like Salem witch trial kind of era, right? But for some reason that didn't stick like long term, and then we now have our abrasive like style, right? Because isn't in Japan there's a stereotype of the loud American, right?
Yeah, I think that's foreigners in general maybe, but yeah, definitely overseas the Americans are brash. But
I
I think
wonder.
I think actually nowadays it's like China that Chinese people are bad.
Oh, I've heard jokes about that.
But
You know what's funny? Apparently, someone went there recently that's like, they're not American, but they're like, Westerner. And they're like,
hmm.
wow, it's true what they say about the Chinese tourists. Even like other foreigners apparently agreeing. The other loud foreigners are like, yeah, man, they're loud.
I'm very curious about it though. Like Chinese demographics are very interesting because I think what it is like uh relatively recently a lot like they went from like majority poor population to majority middle class. So a lot of like there's been like a lot of like rising class, and so like a lot of people who never had the opportunity to go overseas now had it.
Yeah.
I'm curious if that had like people who previously didn't have much understanding of foreign cultures, now they have the opportunity to see them. They wanted to go, but they don't know the etiquette.
I think that's probably it because I'm thinking about other cases where something becomes affordable. A lot of people go there and they're like, "Oh my god, they're so loud and annoying now." I think it's just yeah,
It's
like
interesting.
lower
Chinese
middle
and
class or
Indian
like whatever being able
demographics.
to just go places, right? And they're not used to the etiquette and stuff and like
Yeah,
their upbringing and stuff. But I wonder what happened where that like mindset stuck around in Japan and then didn't stick around in like America.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's interesting.
There, there's like some historic, probably like World War, right? And then the proud American like thing. I don't know. Like history and culture stuff is weird. It's weird how
It's
like one
interesting,
tiny
but
thing splits it off so greatly.
it's just I don't know. There's too many working parts in the human collective. People try to paint like generalized movements. Really is everyone's an individual, so it's really hard to pin it all down. I don't know. I'm not a historian. I don't want to.
Yeah, we're
It
just
seems too
weebs. We're
much.
just VTubers. Next question. Oh, this is related to what we were just talking about. I've been seeing more news lately about Japan having trouble with foreigners, people trashing places, committing crimes, or creating uh whatever disrespectful displays. Have you seen anything like that or heard secondhand stories about it? It's hard to tell if what I'm seeing has much bias in reality or just psyops of some sort.
For the most part, yeah, you're seeing news that's just like since not sensationalized, but it's news that's cherry picked the most interesting and
Yeah, they
eye
always
popping,
pick the
right?
most extreme.
So you're gonna see those posts of the people like, "Oh, I went to this area, this ward in Tokyo, and I went into like a bar and they charged me $2,000 because the girls were talking to me nicely, whatever." Like you see those stories all over the place, and like you'll see like the story like, "Oh, don't talk to this foreigner. He's asking for money for his flight back home, but he's just been doing this for years, like on the train." So there's the weirdos out there like that for sure. But in terms of safety, I feel very, very safe. Japan. I've never seen um, foreigners, crimes, or disruptive. Everyone's been very respectful. I don't live in Tokyo, so maybe it's different there. There's probably like a lot of pressure in Tokyo, like socially. So I bet it's easier to find things like that. I think the most standout thing I've seen before was like I was going through like the subway tunnels, and I just saw like a businessman, and he was just his head in his hands on his knees in the middle of the way, just like clearly having a breakdown. Something really bad happened, and he just couldn't control himself. He was silent, but he's not moving, and everyone's just like walking around him.
Was he a
So like
foreigner or
since
was he
no,
like
he was Japanese. He was just a businessman. But it looked like,
okay?
like his company fell through or like, he lost a lot of money
Yeah.
or like, going through a divorce or something like that. He's just having a breakdown, but very quiet and like not disrupting anybody. He's just kind of in the middle of the way, so everyone's walking around him. That since that's like my standout experience of like kind of like disruptive play, I think
Even that destructive display wasn't even that destructive. Like he was still being
exactly,
quiet.
exactly. I think it's pretty nice. Um, of course, then also like at the schools, like every so often, if like there's like a sexual misconduct incident that happens at a school in our 10, like the principal like has to like print out the news article on it and send it to everybody, make to be like, "You better not do this because we will end up in the news and it will destroy our school."
Does that happen that
Uh,
often?
no, it like in
No.
our entire like quote unquote state, uh, I think it's like less than, I don't know, it's like maybe around 10 incidences a year or something. It still does happen, which is awful. But, like, I don't know, some teacher,
Yeah,
like,
because I'm
touching
thinking
a
back to like
girl inappropriately, but
Japanese games and stuff that are like set in like a high school environment. And that always comes up. So I guess it does happen at
mhm.
least enough where it even
It does happen
influences the
enough.
media.
It does, but then again, essentially what happens is when that sort of thing happens, the news, like, prints it out, and it becomes a big story, and everyone makes a huge fuss about it, and it's a huge, huge, like, black mark for the school. So,
I
that's
think
why they
that
do that at
happens
the
here
school to make
too. Well, kind of in some
sure,
places.
kind of, yeah. But, like, I don't know. It doesn't, the reality never really matches up to, like, what you see in headlines, because headlines are
Yeah.
very picked to be engaging and, generate clicks. So, no, I think Japan is, like, it's, like, super, super safe. I go out at 2 a.m. at night, and the only thing I'm worried about are the boars. I only worry about
Oh
the
yeah,
boars.
boars. The boars are no fucking joke.
Yeah. I live close enough to a mountain that they might be around. I have to sometimes I can hear, like, some sort of animal braying in the distance, I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's a boar.
Boar hunting sphere. Defend yourself.
I've heard there's monkeys in the forest where I work. I've got my eyes peeled every day, and I've never seen one. Bad.
Most animals like to stay away from people.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't like us. We're weird.
although
Loud,
there
noisy,
was, like, 2
destructive.
baby, not baby, but young boars that, like, walked onto the school grounds one day, and then the groundskeeper had to come out with a gun and shoot him. Uh, that was an incident. Oh, and then, like, the other incident where, like, there was a snake. Oh my god, that's so funny. I've always told the people at the school, like, "I think snakes are so cool." Everyone's like, "Oh, they're so gross and, like, scary. Why would you like snakes?" I'm like, "They look nice to pet. They look cool and slick." And then one day, like, one of the teachers comes in, she's like, "Hebiyaru," or "Hebigaru," or something like that. "There's a snake, there's a snake." Everyone's, like, shocked, and then, like, me and, like, one other guy, like, immediately jump to get on our shoes and go take a look at it. It's,
We're
like,
like, oh, a free
so
snake.
interesting. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So he got a net, and I got, like, a long, like, pokey stick. He pulled it out from behind a flower pot, and then he went over to the river, and he just threw it in.
It's probably not even an aquatic snake. He just fucking drowned that thing.
Probably, poor snake. It's not a deep river, but, oh, I hope it was okay. That was a funny thing. I was a hero for a day that day, but I did literally nothing, but I was super curious about it. It's just funny to see people scream about like a snake. I don't know. I don't have that uh I don't have that instinct that makes you wanna like, crawl up your own skin when you see
No, I definitely
a snake.
do. I see a snake and my brain instantly goes into uh-oh, uh-oh.
I get that
The
with
monkey brain
cockroaches.
activate.
Yeah, I get that with cockroaches. It drives me crazy. I hate cockroaches. I see them and I can't even like touch them. It makes me so sick.
Oh,
But
I
like
was the
snakes,
weird
I'm
kid
fine
that
with
played with
snakes.
bugs, so I'm okay with bugs, but a snake, that'll
Oh
freak me out.
god. That reminds me, I was like cleaning the hallway one day and then like F Kun, he's like one of the funniest kids in the school. Poor guy, he's like a bit of an overeater, so he gets some shit for that. Fat shaming is definitely real. Like I'm
Yeah.
barely, well not barely, I'm overweight and I get some shit for it.
Well, it's the
But
same like the hammer. Like, oh, you're a little chubby, you stick out. I'm gonna poke fun at you.
yeah. F Kun is funny though. F Kun, like I was cleaning, I saw the spider. I was like, "What do I do with the spider? Do I put it in the dustpan?" And F Kun's like, "No, no, no, wait, wait, wait. I got this. I got this." And he just leans over, picks up the spider with his hands, just his fingers, and he like walks it outside and puts it outside, like a madman picking up a spider with his bare hands. Like what the hell?
Well,
So
depends what
weird.
spider it is. Most spiders don't care, right? Some are
I
assholes, some are deadly. Most are just like, hey,
eh, I
hey,
don't
I'm right
know. I don't
here.
know. That's so cool. It was such a weird moment though.
Okay, well, next question. What country do you want to visit someday? Also, would you ever live in a country other than Japan or US?
So this is a tough one for me. I've done a lot of traveling in my life. I've lived in like Zealand and England, Italy for a short, and I've traveled to Europe, Japan for a while. I'm kind of I'm kind of burnt out on traveling. Like the way I see it is you can change your environment. You can go to a new place and like be like, okay, new place, new me or whatever. But you can never escape from yourself. You'll always be dragging yourself along. So I've always had the same problems no matter where I go. So for me, it's like it doesn't matter where I go or what country I live in. I'm still dealing with my own mess, my own shit. But
Yeah, just different
I don't know.
background. Same you.
Exactly, exactly. All my interests are like very much like on the computer, right? I want to program, I want to do game development, I want to draw, I want to be a VTuber, I want to do these things. So like literally being in Japan, the it's actually kind of a debuff to me because I want to go like off kite. I want to like do things in America that kind of hard to any like I don't know. I don't have any places I really visit, places I want to.
Let's
I
say you've been to
guess
a lot, like a lot, a lot.
yeah, I've had a lot of experience, so I kind of know it's a little overrated. That's my take on it. But I'm also like a
Yeah,
addict.
introvert.
So
Right.
I have a coworker who likes going to overseas. Complains a lot because he gets low salary as a teacher, so he can't like do as many overseas travels as he wants to. He's always like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Malaysia next year. I'm gonna visit some temples on like a bike, something like that." And that sounds really cool. But yeah, for some people it's a big thing. For me, it's not. If I had to choose a place to live, ooh, where would I live? Maybe Canada. New Zealand is really beautiful. I wouldn't mind going back there. And then maybe to visit somewhere in. I think it'd be really cool to go see Machu Picchu in South America. I think that'd be. I also speak a little Spanish, so it'd be nice practice.
Damn, you're flexing,
I am flexing
flexing
a little
so
bit. I'm
much.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm also old. I'm also an old man, and I what can I say? I was I was I was one of the kids who liked being in school. School was like my comfort place. So when I graduated, I felt very lost.
Because in school they tell you what you need to learn this, you need to do this, and then it's like, well, you're free now,
Oh
and you're like,
yeah,
oh god.
yeah. You don't need to think at all. They set the problem in front of you, and you do it. And I don't know. Some people really flourish in that. And when you have to think for yourself, you shut down.
This is
So I don't know. I lost a good decade of my life, but after school. But in return, I've gained a lot of like miscellaneous skills and half hobbies that I picked up, did a little bit and then dropped. So I've got a lot of like various information.
I wouldn't say you lost like 10 years, right? Because you still lived it, right?
I did
Still
live
lived
it,
it.
yeah, and, like, it built up a lot of the skills that I still use today, but still, it's like after I graduated from college, I spent, like, I don't know, 10 years doing a lot of, like, programming work and burning myself out on that and not really progressing in life. I didn't, and I still don't care about getting, like, a wife, family.
Well,
I didn't care
what
about
is
the money I was
progression in
making.
life besides passing of
Exactly.
time?
Um, I think I think I'm I think it's, like, in disingenuous to say that, like, the standard life isn't, like, a goal that everybody kinda holds themselves to some degree. Even if you're not, like, if you don't want a standard life, that's perfectly fine, but I think you're still feel the pressure to be like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I
it's still
gotta
in the back of
get a
your mind.
family, gotta get
'Cause it's
health
people
insurance,
say,
gotta
"Oh,
get
when are you gonna do the
kids."
standard
Yeah.
thing? When are you gonna do the standard thing?" And it's like, ugh, ugh.
Like, I really like the Akagi manga. Not Akagi, but, like, the guy who made Akagi and Kaiji. He made a manga also called Ten, uh, and, like, in the last chapters of that, there's, like, a really interesting moment where characters, like he's like, "I wanna be like a professional mahjong player, just roaming different parlors and gambling and making my life that way, but I can't bring myself to do it." And the guy's like, "Dude, you gotta give up on having a normal life and just become a become a vagrant. Just become a vagrant. Just embrace it and row away from, like, your normal life." It's like it man, that thing didn't go anywhere, but that story sticks with me a lot. The idea of, like, when you're I don't know, I'm kind of in that point myself, like, I have to make a decision. Do I wanna chase down being a 3D modeler, being a live 2D tuber, or do something in this sphere? It's so creative and it's so much fun, but it'd be such a non-standard life, you know? I'd have to throw away so much potential in order to do it, but really what I wanna do, then maybe it would be good to just throw away the hopes of having a normal life and row
Well, do you
away
want a normal
into the
life or
wilderness.
do you want something else?
Exactly. This is where being grounded with yourself, knowing what you want, and, knowing reality instead of, like, your delusions. "Oh, I want this," but you
Yeah,
don't actually believe it. You have to know these things if you make a decision.
I have to know if I go after what I want, there's like less money, so things I'm gonna have to like do this, this, and that, right? Pros and cons. You gotta think about it, and then weigh it with like, do you want this or are you okay? And you settle with something else.
Yep. I'm I have to make this decision very quickly. I'll be in ALT for 1 more year here, and afterwards, I need to decide what I'm gonna do. I kinda wanna stay in Japan. I could keep being a programmer. I could even try to, like, I don't know, throw in with cover core because they're probably, I don't know, maybe an English, like, a manager or something they could use, somebody ENJP. But,
Yeah, I bet that's a need, especially like local that actually lives like in Japan.
yeah, I could, like, actually commute to their office, and I could work with the overseas talents or something like that. So, like, I could do something like that, right? But I have to make decisions about what I really want. Do I want to have a normal life? Do I wanna have money and comfort? Or do I wanna try to, like I could even do, like, a freelance artist sort of thing. I could work hard on doing my 3D modeling, making, like, Vtuber models or whatever, and I could, like, pimp myself out for that too. But it's like, I don't know. It's scary. It's scary. It's scary
Yeah,
thinking
it's
about these sorts of
scary.
decisions.
It's kind of like the answer you gave to like how do you focus? You just have to, start, right?
Oh yeah, you
You
can't
can't
you
be
can't get caught
scared.
up in the long game.
Yeah.
You have to look down at
Of
your
course you
feet
do have to think
and
about
take
like
that first
serious
step.
things a little longer, but sometimes you just gotta take that step. Be like, well, let's see, right?
Man, that got really tense.
That's fine. That's what I want. That's what I want from this. So, next question. What is one important thing in your life you would give up if you could achieve a dream?
So this is the one question I actually did properly prepare for. I would give up my sense of taste. I give up my sense of taste if I could not achieve my dream, but gain the ability to achieve my dream. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah,
wanna just achieve it. I want to be able to work towards it and be proud that I did the hard work for it. So, I give up my sense of taste. I'm not a big foodie. I
if
barely care about food, so this is
well,
this
if
is
you care
not
about
that big of
tacos,
a
are you
thing.
sure you won't be able to taste a taco again? But if you want to live in Japan, then you're never gonna have a taco anyways. So
I would gladly give up my sense of taste to be able to live like half my life in the state of flow, self annihilation of being in the work mindset.
I guess
I
that
would
makes
love
sense
that.
because you want once like it kind of laid out more clearly, right? Because back to school, you like school, you like it laid out.
Hmm. No, I like
So
structure. I work really well when people give me structure to. That's another tough thing. Being able to. That's why freelance is so difficult for me. I need structure, and I can't do it for myself. Need a manager.
yeah, it's hard.
Woo.
Being your own boss is actually crazy, like insane, not fun.
It's not fun. No, some people
Yeah,
can
some
do it.
people
I'm
really
not.
need
I'm
that
not
like corporate life.
not a workaholic. But yeah, sense of taste is what I'd be willing to give up. I think anything more than that might be a little bit. I think sense of taste is something important to a lot of people. It's not
Yeah,
as important to me, but I do. As I've gotten older, I really enjoy. I'm enjoying food more than I used to. I used to be super skinny just because like I did very much, and I didn't care. Like I'd eat dry ramen all the time just because that was the snack I
damn.
could have at
You're
night.
just eating a
But
brick. You're just eating a brick.
yeah, you're just eating a brick. You're just eating, but like there's a nice satisfying crunch to it too. But as I've gotten older, I've appreciated taste more and more.
Okay, I know you want like it laid out for you, but if right now you had to pick, what would you like? It was guaranteed, right? You didn't have to worry. Whatever you wanted to do, you would achieve it. What would you pick out of the things in the back of your mind that you kind of want to do?
Holy
Like what? Like just don't think about it too hard. What's the one that sticks out instantly? It's kind of like comes a little forward.
It would
Oh,
have to
do
be
you
game
get it?
dev because um I think the idea of making something like the beginner's guide or the Stanley Parable, like that would be a life achievement I could be proud of. Something that, says something about a specific state of mind, about humanity in general. Like I'm not dumb enough to think I could like make an anime on my own. Or
Yeah.
I don't think I have the willpower or even the desire to like
On
make a
this
long manga.
hypothetical, you did. Like you could do it.
Mm, I'd still would go for a video game. I've become a I make video games that like I feel like resonate well with me. I don't know. I think that would be the most interesting thing I could do.
You give up your sense of taste for it.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew it was gonna happen, sure.
I will say it is hard to make like a game like that you described because you have to. You're not always gonna be in that state of mind in that like thing, but you have to complete that game based off of that. So what if like in the middle of development you kind of lose it for a bit?
Yep.
That's
No,
like
I mean
insane
that's the problem.
scary.
That's the problem for me is like it's such a long term thing. Like you have to grind on it for years to just get like a single game out, right?
Yeah, most creative
It's
things are.
some aren't, I'd say, but yeah, definitely like maybe like writing a book. That's also a long term thing.
I
But
wanted to make a comic, but I know that's gonna be like 10-year thing.
oh yeah, no, I mean I've got my own. I'll tie in later. I have a Yuri comic I want to draw. It's called with her head in the cloud, with her head in the clouds, can't see where she steps or something like that. Um, I've had it in my mind for a long time, but I just don't have the skills to do it. Woo.
Mm, as you go through life, you'll like build up skills for it, right? And if
Yeah,
all
yeah.
else fails, you just collect a lot of money and you force someone else to help you with it.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah. Commission someone. That'd be kind of cool. But no, nah. Maybe someday I'll try and do that, but my drawing skills are not good enough. That is something that would be fun to do is like a month-long drawing sort of stream set up like every
Mhm.
day. Oh, I'll
You
I'll do
only
this
get
much
better if you
practice.
keep doing it.
Woo.
And a lot of people get like hung up on like, oh well, you need to like, oh I need to study anatomy, blah 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 blah, and you want, and you do, but the best way to study that is just to draw what you want, right?
Yeah.
You'll learn on the way,
Yeah.
and you need to like kill like the perfectionist, which I think we both have issues with, right? Like
Oh,
hardcore.
definitely.
And you just
Definitely.
have to accept it's not gonna be exactly what you want. You just gotta do it. It'll be funky, it'll be a little stinky, but it'll be made, it'll be done. And then you can
Yeah.
take what you learn from that and you can make it either again or something slightly different or completely new.
It is, yeah. Doing is the most important thing. If you're not doing, then you shouldn't be worrying about how you're doing it. You need to worry about doing it. Once
You
you
just need to
once
do
you're
it.
able to do it and you're able to do it, regularly, then you can worry about how you're doing.
Next question. Hi, Temp. What was your life like when you were 21 years old? Do you have any idea what adult life was like?
21 was probably the worst. No, it might be 22, might be 21. I can't remember, but I'll tell you this. It was probably the worst time of my life. I went through. Let's see. This is about like when I was like in college and I was learning to drink. Not cool, whatever. Um, I'm like I'm a straight A student mostly. College, I started like veering off that path a little bit just because it's college and whatever, who cares. But I took a creative writing class 1 year. Like, oh, I love writing stories. I'm good at this shit. Turns out I thought I was good at it, and I thought I liked writing stories, but I actually hated it. Anytime I sit down to write something, I literally just creative block. Like I can't write anything. I pull my hair out. I hate myself. I lose my will to live. I can't write. I can't force myself to write. But I still went to this class, assuming I'm good at writing. I'm a creative person, so I can definitely do this. And, like, I would literally, like, tell the teacher, like, "No, I'm good to do this assignment," like, because I was, like, not turning in assignments because I couldn't write them. And I remember,
Yeah.
like, for the final, like, I was he sat me down, he was like, "I'm a little bit worried about, like, what you haven't put in anything really." I'm like, "No, I got this, I got this. I can write the 2 stories I need for the final." And I just literally wrote nothing. I literally wrote nothing. I would sit down and try to write, and I just literally wrote nothing, and I failed out of the class. It's like the one of the only 2 classes I failed in college, actually, but more than failing this class, like being the bad thing, it actually like shattered my ego because it made me face myself and be like, I have this idea that I'm creative and I want to tell stories. I want to put myself out there, but is this actually what I want? Is this actually who I am? Like I had a false perception of myself and like having to face that in reality broke me, and that was, around the time that my family moved to England for a little bit, so I lived with them there. That's where I actually learned how to drink alone, which has been a bane to my life ever since. I curse the day that I learned how to drink
Of
alone,
course, it would
but,
be England.
huh? Oh, yeah, I was
I,
in yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Isolated, no friends, no like, I kinda was working remote, but not really, um and I was just miserable. I was miserable there. Absolute worst time of my life. And I was just trying to deal with this loss of sense of self because the person who I thought I was actually not, it was who I wanted to be, but not who I was actually. And so I think that was when I actually picked anime back up. I watched like Madoka and I'm like, this is the fucking best thing I've ever seen in my life.
This
Started
is
watching anime again. But God, that that was like my 21-year-old self was just like completely lost. Didn't really want to go through college. Like my mom was like relieved when I finished college because I took like 6 years because I just didn't care about it. Like I didn't like it's like when you look at yourself and like why am I here? What am I doing this for? What's the end goal? And you don't really have an end goal. An example of this, I went to interview for a internship with I think one of like the oil executives, not executives, but like the oil companies. I think it was ExxonMobil. Just as a programmer, you want to get like internships to get like experience and stuff. So I went to this interview and I sat down with the interview, and I think like the third question or something, just like really early on in this interview, was like, okay, so why do you want to work with ExxonMobil? And I kind of froze because I was like, I don't wait, I don't want to work with this guy. What am I trying to do here? What am I doing? And I just after like a moment, I was like, you know what, dude? I'll be honest. I don't think I actually want to work with you, but I'd appreciate the experience with the with the interview.
this is.
Like took him back for a second. It's like, what the fuck?
He's like, oh my
we,
god,
we
that's honesty for once. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we went through with it, and I remember I went to my dad afterwards. And I was like, Dad, I didn't know what to do. I don't I told him I didn't want to do it. I'm so confused. I don't remember what my dad says. Probably I don't know. Just like trying to be reassuring, but nothing of real substance. So I was very lost. My 21-year-old self was very very lost. I still feel lost, but I have learned to be comfortable with being lost and enjoy it a little bit more. But
Definitely sounds like you
21-year-old
made
me was
some progress on like things that have haunted you for most of your life.
made some progress, not all. Lost a few things, gained a lot more. But Yeah. I just I was in the right place to be successful, to be set up for success in life, and I've let a lot of that drift away because for me, it's just not important. So, I don't know. I think when you're 21, there's still so much left for you to grow and learn, become an adult as, so shouldn't be too hard on yourself. Again, just try to get in touch with yourself. Figure out what you want, what you actually want, not what you think you should want or what you want to want, what you actually want.
Yeah.
Tough
Because most people
for
grow up with
somebody
the
like me.
idea of like the normal life, right? Like, you go to
Yeah,
school,
yeah,
go to
yeah.
college, you get good paying job. It's like you need like once you're 18 and out of high school, it's like, oh, do I actually want the normal thing or do I want something else?
Yeah, you're given a chance to think for yourself. It's like, I don't know, it's really tough. I think it's okay to not know immediately what you wanna do. Like, I've known a few people who are very, like, I know what like, they have, like, their life plan set down for 5 years, and by this time, I'll be doing this job, and then doing this, and, like, they can go through with it, but sometimes they don't seem very happy. Don't seem like they're very happy.
Yeah, because they're trying to meet those goals, right? So they're
Yeah,
focused.
but, like, yeah, their goals that aren't really set on, like, what they thought they.
Yeah. Reality hits, right? People tell you this is what you should do and like all this stuff, and then you try to do it and then it hits you in the face and you're like, wait a minute, this is kind of shit. I don't like
Yeah.
this. And most
My
people still
god.
go along with it.
My Sorry, yesterday I met with my old Japanese teacher who got me up to speed with Japanese enough that I could, like, live here, so very grateful for her. But every time I meet with her, she's always like, "Temp-san, do you have a girlfriend yet? I have to tell you, you have to find a nice Japanese woman, but don't use the dating apps. You have to ask your coworkers to introduce you to a nice girl. If you do that, you'll certainly get a nice girlfriend. You need. I my wish for you is to be invited to your wedding." I'm like, what are you doing? She made.
Wow, she's like stepping in as your mother.
It's so funny. Like, it's so blatantly like Shinzo Abe level, like, reproduce with the Japanese. It, like, literally is, like, she married a foreigner herself, and, like, she's telling her students, "You gotta go to Japan and get married there and get kids." It's like,
Damn, is she being paid? Is she being paid?
I think she feels like a duty to it or something. It's just funny. Every time we talk, it's like that. It's just like, I say, "Ah, thank you, arigato gozaimasu." I don't know, maybe I'll find the right girl someday, but I just, like, deep down, I'm like, "That's never gonna happen. Please stop." It's
You
so
should just be like,
funny.
I'm gay.
No, can't say that.
Well, then at least
She's nice.
she'll give up on the dream of you having children.
Maybe. I don't wanna say
uh,
directly no to her face. That's the secret to Japanese. Never say no to their face. You just say, "Well, maybe, hmm," and then they'll take
maybe.
the hint. You just go, "Hmm," and they take the hint that no, that means no.
I heard that apparently Japanese, most of the time you don't finish the sentence, right? You just kind of like trail on and then they fill it in.
Yep, yep, there's a lot of, like, contextual stuff. Uh, like, "What do you think about this?" You could be like, "それは," like, literally, you're just saying, "That would, and, like, they can infer from that, like, "Oh, that's a negative."
Damn,
But,
it must be like awful to be autistic in Japan because you have to assume so much.
yeah, it's probably mega bad. That's probably why the hikikomori problem is so bad here, is just, like, people who have trouble with communicating, like,
Yeah.
they just ruin the mood, they can't read the air, kukio yomenai. So, like, they just struggle real hard with social norms. There is a kid here, I think he's autistic in one of my classes. He, like, reads visual novels, he's, like, reading, like, RE0 shit, and he's, like, giggling out loud to himself, but, like, quietly. Everyone can hear it. It's like he's really weird, but everyone's, like, pretty nice to him, thankfully, and even though he's, like, kind of the butt of some jokes because he's, like, socially unaware, he rolls with it, and he's a good guy. He needs to stop playing video games so late at night. He's always sleeping in English class.
Damn, he's literally just like me for real, for real.
That's the nice thing about Japanese classes, though. You can kind of sleep in it, and they don't give you shit too hard about it most of the time.
It's weird with the schooling system. It's like it's weird.
It's
It's like you have to like really work and try hard, but then they also they're like, oh, you can miss a couple days, or you can just sleep. It's fine.
it's they realize they're working these kids hard, I think. So a lot of times they're willing to give them some leeway. Also, like on like midterms and stuff, they want the average of the class to be like 50 points out of 100. I was shocked.
Exactly 50?
Yeah. Like they want to make them so like the questions are hard enough so like they're pushing them to try and learn more. You know, they don't want people to get like 100 because that means like the questions are too easy, but they don't want them to be zero because this questions are hard. So they figure if it's around 50 points, then you got a good balance of like knowing stuff versus like stuff that trying to push them to learn more. I think that's what I understood when I talked to my teacher about this, but it was just very strange because like these finals, like these midterms values were like in the 50s and 60s, and like he was like, "Oh yeah, that's good, that's good. I'm happy about this." It's like what?
I
Very
guess
very
that's good
strange.
because you're pushing them to try and learn harder, right? And they're not
Yep,
just looking
yep,
for easy 100, easy 100.
yep. I mean, the big so my third years are going to be doing their high school exams very soon here. They picked the high schools that they want to go to, and now they have to do the entrance exams. It's going to be coming up next couple months. That's like really all that matters for them, right? That's all that matters. Like they're basically going to start up like doing lots of classes. They're just going to be helping them practice, get
Oh yeah,
ready for
cram
these
school.
exams. That's yeah, yeah. Some kids go to cram school, but yeah. I guess it's really that those entrance exams is all that really matters at this point in their middle school career, so they gotta
Oh yeah, didn't you have a
that's
kid
what they're
that
prepped
like
for.
just doesn't show up to school, or at least like last year you did?
Oh, yeah, yeah, well, he was yeah, so he graduated, but he just never showed up, I don't know why. When I saw him a couple times, he was a bit chubbier, so I was like, I'm not sure if he got, like, bullied or something, but, poor kid. He just never came to school, never came to school. I saw him at graduation, I'm like, "Who the heck are you?" We have
That's so
another kid
weird
right
because
now
over
who's
here, if
struggling
you
a lot,
miss, you're only allowed like
um
10 days a year to miss. And then like they're like, oh, we're gonna take you away. You're gonna like blah 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 blah. And then in Japan, it's like, oh, you just gotta do your finals. Just show up for the finals, man.
we have one more kid right now who's struggling a lot. Don't want to talk about his situation, but he's got some issues that make it hard for him to want to go to school. So
Yeah, that's
that
understandable.
one's really tough. Everyone like that's kind of like the big struggle, trying to motivate
In
him to come
America,
to.
it's like, well, too bad. You still gotta come here. Too bad.
I think he wants. I can't get it personally.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That is the one weird thing about here. You get to look into like the home cases, like oh, A-chan really hates her mom, and they get into verbal arguments all the time, and like it because of that, she just like doesn't engage at school at all. Draws cats on paper all day.
I
Um,
could not be a teacher. I'd be worried about my students too much. I worry about other
yep.
people too easy.
Um, I shouldn't share this, but I will share this because I won't say who it is. One of the notes for one of my kids was like, oh, they have a Twitter account with over 700 followers, and they asked her not to tell her parents that she has it. It's like,
This is
whoa, she's influencer. She's gonna be an influencer when she grows up.
listen, 700, right? That's actually kind of impressive. Uh,
For
mm,
yeah, for her age, yeah, yeah, but like, it is kind of funny. I can see how it like jives with her personality. And a lot of kids
yeah,
here really like idols stuff, like K-pop and stuff. Weird, 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 man. It's a weird world right now. Yeah.
yeah. I guess that's kind of similar in the States, right? There's like kids like, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be
Oh my
whatever.
god. Yeah, yeah. Um, I remember like one of the kids who graduated elementary school last year was like, I want to be a creator, and everyone's like, what is a creator? I think he meant like a YouTube creator, something like that. When he grows up, he wants to
Damn.
be like a artist, like a YouTuber or something. Oh
He's gonna
no,
get the
it's
bad
over.
brain worms. God help him.
Yeah.
God help him. You see a kid and you're like, I want to be an artist. I want to be like some type of creative thing, and you just look at them. You're like, God help you.
Bro,
Good luck, buddy. God,
good
I'll be
luck.
thinking about you.
Gotta master the art of the YouTube thumbnail. Open mouth pointing.
Big bright color, circle, red text. You just tell that to the
Yup.
kid. They're like, I want to be a creator. It's like, bright color, circle, arrow. This is what you need. This will always work, child. Remember this.
Allow me
Remember.
to pass down ancient wisdom. Big red circle, pointing arrow, shouting.
High saturated
Impact.
colors.
uh,
Okay, let's move on to the next question. As an artist, what is your measure of value or success?
I mean, you can always think of like financial independence as
Mm,
a success of some sort, if you're an
yeah, but it's
artist.
like what is successful to you, right?
I guess that's more of a goal than a success. For me,
Yeah.
it's like being able to communicate what you want to communicate. So like Borgor would probably be my best thing that I ever did, right? Like in terms of like having an artistic vision that had like meaning behind it and filling it, I think it accomplished what I wanted to do. Even if I regret how bad um the quality of that stream was, I will never regret the message. Being able to accomplish a dream that I had thought up of before and just was like, "Oh, this is like an idea maybe someday, like, maybe I'll do it, but never, you'll actually never do it. You never will, to be honest. But yeah, just everything that I'd done, I don't know. It's kind of tough. Because another thing for me is like when I do stuff, like when I made AWA 5.0, which for those of you who don't know, it's a programming language, like an assembly language, based off of Phase Connect's Jelly Hoshiumi. When I made AWA 5.0, it's just because somebody in one of her chats was like, "When are you going to make like an AWA programming language?" And I got really curious. I thought up an idea. I sketched it out, and then like over 2 weeks, I just kind of did it for fun while I was at work. Um, and I got a lot of like recognition. Jelly Hoshiumi did a stream on it. It was really really funny. Got the mind breaker. It was really fun. Uh, but just being able to like I guess share with other people, and when they understand what you're saying and they jive with it and they like it, that feels like success to me. When people can appreciate the things that you say and they say, "Yeah, I feel that way too," or "This is really funny and interesting. I like that." I feel like that's successful and that's valuable. But I don't know. Other than that, maybe there's like value in like being able to take something you feel on the inside and like put it out there as art. Being able to bring something inside of you, put it outside of yourself to have it recognized. That feels good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
kind of a
it's you can never make people see exactly what you see with your art and stuff, but if you get 70% there, it's good. It's good.
yeah. It's like when you read a book that you really really love, or you watch a movie and it like hits you right in the right place. It's like when you can make that sort of feeling happen with other people, it feels just as good. I think when you can hear that from when you hear their
Yeah.
react
Yeah, yeah.
connection.
Success isn't always just number money. It's other things. Just what's ever fulfilling, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of things that connect with you emotionally and stuff like that, what is your favorite Yuri anime, manga, or visual novel?
So I don't know when I talked about Yuri. Secret. It's not secret. I don't talk about it all that much, but I am very much a Yuri head. I love Yuri. I love Yuri. I think it's just because um mentally I can't imagine myself being in a relationship, but I crave like romance. So like, oh well, if I can't have like a man be in a romance story because that's a stand-in for myself. So let's just go to Yuri. Let's have two women. That's totally fine. That's then I'm not in the story, but I get to enjoy it anyways. So I really like Yuri. Um, favorite Yuri anime. So I'll bring up two here, but they're both by the same director. What was his? Oh, I forgot his name. But Revolutionary Girl Utena is probably my based take. It's like how can I put it? It's very visually metaphoric. The director does like these really interesting shots. He like does all this stuff is like very visually striking and interesting and like very symbolic. Um, It's also a little awkward to talk about because it's, like, middle school girls and, like, the vice principal is definitely, like, seducing middle school girls in, like, the later seasons, so it's very inappropriate, and I can't talk about it to anyone, uh, especially since I work out of school, and now I just feel extremely awkward about it, but, um, in terms of, like, visual metaphors and stuff, it's just such a beautiful anime. And then the director also made Yuri Kuma Arashi, which is, Yuri Bearstorm. And again, it just kind of like takes visual metaphor and cranks it up to 11. You have like kind of characters that are like almost paper thin, but uh because like of the storytelling, it's the way that the storytelling works is so interesting. So I don't know. Check out Yuri Kuma Arashi if you want to try something interesting. It's very visually striking, beautiful anime. And I like a lot of the messages in it. There's been like this one that's like really popular about like this girl who falls in love with this guy who does like rock and roll, but turns out he's actually a girl. And let me actually look. The guy she was interested in wasn't a guy after all.
This is
Very simple, but the art is very beautiful. It's very like light, fun. Um, there's a couple other like more serious stuff that I like, but it's like I like introspective stuff a lot. So if you're looking for a Yuri adjacent manga, I would suggest One Shot in the Subway, One Lost Her Way. It's not really Yuri actually. I really like that manga. So you should read it anyways.
I feel
This
like
is a
it's
short
Yuri
one
like.
shot from China, and it's about like I don't know, getting caught in the trap of like working, an office job and like creative passions and just kind of like I don't know, A type personalities and B type personalities. It's just for me, it hits me in a creative level. So I would suggest that one too. Um, OVA. I don't know. I don't watch OVAs. I don't know what that's about. So I'm just gonna suggest the Revolutionary Girl Utena movie. It's got some really good scenes in it. A lot of like sexual tinge shit in it. It's very strange and very good. It's hard to describe. Um, I don't want to spoil it. Can't. Okay, I can't spoil it. There's some really
Got
wild
it.
shit that goes on it. But like it's a very you kind of have to watch this show and then watch the movie because otherwise you'll be like, why is that person a car?
Wait, there's a car person?
Yeah. Okay, I will spoil this. I will spoil this. Like basically at some point in the story, people start turning into cars.
What?
Like but it's drawn by like people who did like mech anime. So it's like
Oh,
it's such
okay.
like it's such a weird, strange turn in the story. But like metaphorically, it's like a visual metaphor. Like I won't explain what it is because you have to watch it. But
So is there like
n-
Yuri car sex happening at the end?
uh no, she turns back into a human when they do the dirty sex. But
Oh, they were cowards. I see.
it's a metaphor. But yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to describe. But the director just like really goes for abstract shit that's like nonsensical at points.
Is that common for
Just to
Yuri?
make a point. Hmm?
Is that I feel like is that common for Yuri to be like more abstract?
This is wild. This is wildly abstract. This is more than your average Yuri. This is more abstract than your average Yuri.
This is
But
well,
yeah,
yeah. There's
um,
cars. There's they turn into
ut-
cars
ut- ut-
apparently.
yeah, it's such a cool moment. It's such a cool moment. But it's just such a visually striking anime. It's always stuck with me for a very long time. Visual novel. I really like Flowers. It's like a series of VNs about uh of all things, a Christian boarding school. Who would have guessed?
Classic. Very classic.
Classic setting, but there's like 4 of them for 1 for each season. I never got through all of them, but they're w yeah, I need to go back to and finish that. That was a fun little yen. Uh, but yeah, those would be my 4. I love Yuri, but I'm kinda haven't, like, been keeping up too much other than, like, the odd manga,
I feel like as you make stuff, you instantly just stop consuming other stuff.
basically, yeah.
It's
Too
the
much time is
curse.
taken up by the creation.
Yeah.
You any time off, you kinda just wanna stare at the wall, be brain dead.
Yeah, any mental taxing thing, you're just like, okay, I'm turning it off now.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, next
Huh?
question. You had infinite time. Which one of your projects would you like to complete first? And let's say like you're in a like the Dragon Ball time chamber. So like there'll
Oh,
still be people around too that'll like witness it, right? So you can go in there for like a billion years and come out and be like, I've made my thing.
honestly, I would just clear out all the things I'm working on right now. I've got the secret model I keep being coy about. I really need to finish it. I need to finish it. I would do that one first. And then I have a live 2D commission I would probably do. So like I literally just clear out my list in order. But if you meant if I needed to wanted to make one thing, oh, I
Like
know
one big
exactly.
project.
I know exactly what it would be. Um I should I talk about this? I'll talk about this here. Nobody's gonna listen to this later. Um, I really want to apply to Hololive or Hollow Stars. I want to try applying to Hollow Stars with a Steam game. I think it'd be fun to do a Stanley Parable style Steam game as an audition for a corpo.
Oh, as a VTuber
Um,
or working at it?
as a VTuber, or like as a meta. The original idea, maybe I would actually do it with like Hololive, but I think the original idea was because Sakana didn't want to hire males. I wanted to make a Stanley Parable style audition video game where I try to show myself off in the best air possible, like Stanley Parable style with humor and everything, trying to convince Sakana to start up a male brand. And then I make this into a game, and about halfway through, I would like have this kind of like realization, like, wait a minute, do I actually want to be a VTuber? Like, what the fuck am I doing? And I kind of like go through like self doubt and like, all this shit. And then at the end, I'd be like, okay, I got to embrace my own feelings. I got to be true about myself. And let's move forward positively. And then like it would end with like a very short like video being like, all my best moments. Oh, look at me. I'm a best VTuber. I'm gonna be great at your company. And like a really tone deaf sort of like advertisement for myself like that. I
I
think
think
that'd be funny.
Bibu, one of the newer EN girls, she made like a Undertale mod in her audition,
Undertale
and then
mod. Oh, is that what
yeah,
it was? I heard she made a
yeah,
game. That's cool as hell.
that was in her
Um,
audition, and then she played it. I think in the first week for like existing on her
but I think
channel.
the cool thing about like the idea that I have, not to shit on Bibu, but let me talk about how cool my idea is. The cool thing about it would be just like that I would put that out on Steam and like just publicly send it out to Sakana. And so like it would also get eyes from like non-VTuber watchers. So like that'd be nice little advertisement for
Technically,
FaZe
that would
Connect, who I
disqualify you,
love.
even if you
It would
clicked.
disqualify me, yeah, exactly. But like it would also generate discussion about it. And like if I made it genuine enough, like where I talked about, oh man, I got really number menhera and like I had to stop streaming because I couldn't deal with it. If I got
Yeah,
into like that sort of stuff, maybe it would generate some conversation. Like my goal would be to do something like the beginner's guide, where I just talk about, kind of the mental drain it takes being a VTuber, and I do it in the form of VTuber audition, where I kind of realize halfway through, is this really what I want to do? Do I want to be like? It hurt me so much to try and do VTuber stuff. Is it okay to keep trying? You know, talk, try to generate dialogue through a video game like that. I think that's such a cool idea. I can't believe I talked about this entire thing on stream. Not on stream, on video, but like I taught man,
what do
this
you
is
mean?
such a
There's
good
a premiere
idea.
chat right there. Look, there's chat that you can totally see, and we're acknowledging right now. So then they clap and get
Holy
excited.
shit. Shut up, Sino. Shut up.
Now, knowing him, he'll like watch 5 minutes and then come watch the VOD later. He'll be like, "Hi, I hope the thing goes well," and then he disappears, and then maybe pops up.
That would be my next Borgar. I guess I'm comfortable talking about it because the audience here is small enough. No one would
Yeah, my 5 viewers.
care. Not five,
It's
but
fine. What are you
maybe by
talking
the time
about?
you got into this point in the VOD, it'll be five. But yeah, I think it'd just be cool to try and breach a wider audience with a VTuber thing. Like, I think some people have gotten that with like there's the game that Broline was playing the other night, whatever
Yeah.
that is. And then there's been a couple of other like there's the Chilla's Art game that was about being a streamer. There's like been a few
Media
things. Oh,
streamer
over
overdose.
there's also
The
that, yeah.
classic.
Yep. So there's been a few, but I don't know, it'd be really interesting to bring that up as a beginner's guide style game. So I would definitely that would be the thing I'd go for.
Well, you piqued my interest, so whenever that happens, I'll definitely be first in line to play it.
Do I gotta do this now? The game jam is
Eh,
gonna be in like a week here.
I mean, it could be a back burner thing. You don't have to like
Yeah,
frame
but
it.
then I gotta actively work on it. But it's such a good idea. It's such I really like the idea. So
Maybe
maybe
put
I'll
some foundation down for yourself later, right?
yeah, maybe. It's such a good idea. I can't believe I talked about the whole thing. That's such a shame. But sometimes,
And only
I mean,
five people.
I
It's
guess
fine. And then they'll be like, "Hey, Temp, when are you doing that one cool idea?" And then they'll peer pressure you to work on it.
yeah. Next question, please.
Okay, next question. Uh, what made you want to get into programming, and what made you change to what you're currently doing? Even though you kind of already said that throughout the thing.
Yeah, I'll dip into this a bit because programming is my number one passion in life. I love programming. I think it's what I was born to do, and I burnt out on programming, and it hurts so much. Programming
What?
for me, it started when I was in high school. So you get like those graphing calculators, right?
Yeah.
The fancy graphing calculators in high school, and you can like program them. I would what I would do is during like for tests, I would like make a program, like a program, and I would like just type straight in answers to things like in the calculator, and then I would archive the program, and then during the test, I would unarchive it and then read it, and then like write down the answers, and then re-archive it. So if they ever took my graphing calculator, I'd be like, oh, I can't open this file. I don't know what this is, whatever. But I was playing with those things all the time, and like I remember my brother printed off this long list of like basically assembly to make a Mario game. It was a really shitty little Mario game, but I was super like curious about it, so I would program it in like line by line, typing into a graphing calculator this assembly code, and I would make the game and I'd play it for like a day. And I'm like, oh my god, this sucks so bad. It sucks. I can't play this, and I'd delete it. And then the next day I'd be like, well, I kind of want to try it again, and so I type it in again. And like so multiple times I typed in this assembly program over and over into this little graphing calculator. And over time I learned how to make game like I kind of understood what was happening in it. Not totally, but I was able to grasp a few things and like even make some changes. And that was my introduction to programming. And I took some programming classes after that, and I got really into it. I really was good at it, and I enjoyed it. I was always a math person, so like it really piqued my interest. So I don't know. So sometimes you find something that's like very interesting to you, and you keep going with it, and you find and it gains momentum. So for me, it was like a momentum thing. What may change me into what I'm doing now? Burnout, uh, being a hikikomori for a year and a half, and then another year after that. Um, and just I don't know. Again, just finding interest in chasing them. I got interested in Phase Connect, which sparked my curiosity about what if I could be a VTuber. So I picked up Live 2D, and every so often I would like dabble in it, just like make models like this one, come up with an idea for VTuber, and then abandon it for because I honestly didn't want to do the streaming, but I thought what if I was a streamer? So um I don't know, just chasing interests and being like it's okay if you like pick up a hobby and do a little bit of it and you're like, oh, maybe this isn't for me or whatever. Maybe it'll help you down the line. I know all the stuff I've done over the years kind of have coalesced in me being able to do a lot of different things like that I didn't think I'd be able to do. Um, I never practiced drawing all that much, but I have enough skill that I can do some things, and I'm handy with Clip Paint Studio, so helps with like thumbnails. I don't know, just like the miscellaneous things you pick up along the years really add up over time. So it's okay to kind of dabble. But yeah, I got here by wandering, being aimless.
Even being aimless, right? You technically achieved things, right? Having no goals, you still achieve things.
Mm, kind of. Like I wouldn't say I made much stuff for my current iteration. Like I would dream of things, I would sketch them down and write up ideas, but I never really went full out to make them a reality. I made a few things, but like nothing really public or beyond small prototypes of stuff. I had a
That's
lot of
most
dreams, but I never acted on.
creatives. So I have like
Yeah.
a billion things that are in the garbage that I tried to.
Yeah, but I feel like ever since I've become temp and taken this on, I've had a lot more gumption to actually see projects through, force myself to do things. So grateful to all flavor because it gave me the kick in the pants to actually step forward and start doing rather than dreaming, you know?
And
Nice.
it also helps when you have like peer pressure from others.
Yep. Got competition. Well, yeah, I need to drop that sort of mindset, but I do feel like pressure from like, oh, Senna's doing this really cool thing. Rimey's doing really cool stuff. Brime's always streaming. I should be better.
But what
Like,
cool stuff am I doing? I just yap. This is like technically the only cool thing I'm doing now.
yeah, but you're really, really good at it. Fun to listen to you. Yeah, nice. I don't know. I like listening in. I'd like to be able to create that sort of atmosphere as well. Also, you
Yeah.
got fun art. You
Yeah.
made like the cheese wizard hat. That was so cool.
I mean, I'm kind of like you, right? Because I rigged this model. I used
hmm
like that to learn rigging. I mean, hell, we're both using self-rigged models right now.
Yep. Fun. It's fun. To the
Next
last
question. The big question. What makes you happy?
self annihilation. That makes me happy.
Oh, but the problem I'm still like, don't say
No,
dying or
no, no, no,
decluttering.
no. I'm not saying dying. I'm saying self annihilation. It comes through in two ways. The first way is unhealthy. It comes through self sabotage. Have to admit to that. Um, that one actually makes me unhappy. But the other way that makes me happy is when I can get into the flow. The flow mind state is my crack. I want that so bad because I lose my sense of self and I lose all of my insecurities and all my worries and everything, and I can focus solely in on the work. And when I'm in that mindset, time's just passing by either really fast or really slow. It just feels good. It feels good to abandon the self and be engrossed in the work. What I want is where I want to be, where I'm happiest. And it's hard to get there. It's really hard to getting over that first hour hump is enough for me to, I don't know, dissuade me from most days from doing good stuff, doing good work. But being in that state is what I crave. That's what makes me happy. Spicy foods also makes me very happy. Very happy.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Anything else?
I mean, good movies, good content. I like watching funny YouTube sugar. I like sugar in general. Uh, smaller, just smaller things. But as I've gotten older, I've appreciated more good company. I'm a loner, but I've learned to appreciate good company, having a good moment, friends. Uh, I don't know. Mostly where I want to be is working hard. My big answer. It makes me happy when I can put out something good, put in the good work. It's like a satisfying kind of happy, right? It's not. It's like in
Yeah.
Japanese, you got ureshi, which is happy, and then you got like shiawase, which is like content. It's chasing the content, not the happiness.
I guess maybe yeah, the content. Happiness with content.
Yeah, it's good to be happy, but like contentment is what you want. But contentment is like a. It's like, how can I put it? It's not an end state, but it's like a state that you are in. Like it's a process. It's when you make happiness and goal like contentment like goal, like somewhere you can reach after effort, it kind of it's a misunderstanding of what you get happiness and contentment through what can I say? There's a book, Man's Search for Meaning, I think it is by Viktor Frankl. Uh, if you're into reading philosophy, read that. It's a guy, he went through like the Holocaust. Oh boy, bringing up politics, but he went through
Bro,
the
we already kind of
Holocaust.
did. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. he went through the Holocaust, and he's like a psychiatrist, and so reading his take on like things is very interesting. There's one thing that really sticks out to me. He's like he was saying like you could tell when somebody was about to die because um, when they would lose all hope, they would just pull out whatever like secret cigarettes they had smuggled or whatever and start smoking them, or like whatever small pleasure they had like kind of tucked away and hidden from like the guards. They would just immediately just start using it and doing nothing else. Like they were craving that last bit of dopamine because they just like lost all hope for the future, and they would just like basically die a few days later because their bodies gave up. Just the idea of like somebody who's hopeless, who doesn't have any hope, they just crave that dopamine no matter, like what it costs them, whatever it is, they just crave it. I f I feel like that all the time, and this is like, "Oh god, am I hopeless? Am I bereft of hope? Am I am I willing to am I giving up on myself? Am I gonna die?"
This is
Just I don't know. Something about, like, so human about, like, the idea of, like, when you're hopeless, you will cling to cheap forms of dopamine, to cheap sources of happiness instead of, like, I don't know, persevering, trying hard, being willing to suffer for a better tomorrow. And I'm stuck there. I'm stuck in that fight of fighting against the easy pull of like, well, I'll lay in bed and watch. I'll doom scroll on Reddit. I'll drink alcohol. I'll overeat because these are easy happinesses. And I don't have the will, the determination to stand up against that and do hard work and get a harder, less satisfying or less intense, but more satisfying happiness. That's that's
yeah.
that's where I'm at. That's the struggle. Once I can find a reliable way to do the work and keep away from the vices, I think I'll be in a good spot. But I'm still fighting to find that way. So yeah, figuring that out would make me happy.
This is
uh, it's
okay. Time
tough.
for
Time for what?
yeah. It is tough. It is fucking tough. I forgot to inject one question in there, but it's related
Oh,
to what makes you happy.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, who is your Oshi, right? Your Oshi makes you happy. Who are they?
I mean,
Tell
it's
me
just
about them.
Brolime and Ruptor.
We all know
And
Proline. Tell me
I don't
about
know
Bottom
Brolime.
Rector.
She's a very interesting streamer. So I think she has like a lot of influences from like normal streamers. Like she doesn't engage with chat as much as other streamers, which is a blessing and a curse if you're parasocial like me. Um, she just basically has a very set schedule. She's very good about keeping to it. It'll change weekly, but she'll just like give it out ahead of time and she'll keep on it. She basically hasn't changed the format of her streaming. Started improved a little bit, but mostly she's like a 3D, very minor changes for the uh, same background, same schedule format. She just plays games and gets into them. She gets really into them. Her mouthwashing playthrough really enjoyable because of that. She just really gets absorbed into games and really engages with them. So it's just kind of a pleasure to watch. It's like one of those streamers like where you watch them to see their reaction to things more than interacting with them directly.
Yeah.
Um, and the reason I appreciate her so much is that she'll do these Zatsu streams, and she gets extremely introspective. And if you can't tell, I'm a person who loves introspection. I love looking into myself. I love myself. I love looking at myself and talking about myself and
Love
thinking about
looking
myself.
into
But
the void.
I love looking into the void. That's exactly it. But yeah, it's inky black goop inside this barrel of my body. But she gets really introspective, kind of the same way that Brolime he gets way too introspective at times, harmfully introspective, which I enjoy watching. But Fodder Ruptor, she's kind of done the same. I don't want to say I'm the same, but she's had the same sort of thing where she had a plan set in her life, and it kind of fell apart on her, and so she's working through her life, trying to figure things out, and like listening to her reflect on the things that's happened to her and like choices she's made and decisions, like the way she's gone about like learning and trying to improve herself. is super, super fascinating, and it's I I think I have to step back a little bit because I might OC her a little bit too hard, and I think it might make her uncomfortable at times. But just like asking like really probing questions on like those Zasu streams is a habit of mine. Yeah, she's I don't know, just like I love getting to see into like people's minds like that. Oh, that actually reminds me of a good Yuri. Um, the manga is called My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness. I would
Oh, I've read
extremely
that one.
highly recommend this. Oh, you read it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. It's literally just a person talking about their experience with mental illness. As much as she like writes about like lesbian experience with loneliness, it's literally about like her mental illness, like her inability to like be social, her extreme anxieties that make her pull out her hair, her anorexia, like extreme stuff. Like she's done sequels. Like she's talked about her alcoholism after this and how she's basically fucked her pancreas up. Um, but basically, the thing that really struck me because I felt a lot of like a court. I felt very strongly like, oh man, she gets me. She understands me. Like I feel these things too. Um, the thing that really struck out to me was like she was like the reason she wrote the manga in the first place is like she was reading people's experiences like online, like blogs, like, oh, this is how I, this is my life experience and stuff like that. And somebody was like, I really enjoy reading these kinds of blogs because it really I get to see into the person's life and their mind, and I get to see the things that they felt, and I can like uh I can sympathize and empathize with it. And she's like, oh yeah, no, that's totally right. I should write that sort of stuff because this is the kind of content I love. And that's kind of the way I feel with, I guess, Fautum. I really just enjoy hearing her thinking process, her thought process, and how she works through things. So I don't know. I really appreciate that. I kind of like that with Broline too. The way he looks at problems is very fascinating. The way he considers his own life and the things he's done. I really enjoy hearing their perspective and their introspections on things. I feel like I want to emulate that sort of thoughtfulness as well. But yeah, that manga is extremely powerful. I if you like that sort of biography stuff, read it. It's very good, very very good. Is that a good answer for why I have Oshis? Like,
Yeah. I was also gonna ask, like, what do you like about them? Which you kind of answered too in that.
yep, yep.
And I see a
Uh,
recurring pattern throughout the whole entire thing.
what self-absorption,
No,
egocentrism?
just, mm, how would I describe it? Just liking introspective and other people's, like, just thinking about, like, the internal stuff. Things that most people don't really necessarily talk about casually. You seem to
Hmm.
really enjoy.
Yeah, I'm a huge loner. When I was like, I still don't have a very good concept of others, so I think I have some like issues setting boundaries. um, but when I was a kid, I was super quiet, like not communicative. I sought out being by myself. So I've spent a lot of time with myself, and even if I don't like myself a lot, I am very comfortable with myself. Um, so for me, I guess introspection is kind of like is a hobby. But I don't know. I've come to learn it's really fun to poke the internet, to poke people, and to see how they poke back. It's something I'm learning. I'm still learning. It's how to be social.
Yeah. Mm, that's kind of the whole point of this podcast is because I like hearing what other people say about like more meaningful thoughts that they usually don't share and stuff like that.
I was able to hit a lot of good thoughts. I was able to express a lot of the things I like expressing. Happy to have this opportunity, but I also got to be really careful. I'm one of the types who's like, oh, I wish I could write a book and be famous for that. But I don't want to actually write the book. I just want to be on Oprah talking about my how beautiful the things I think are. You know,
Mm,
I want the one of my big motivations is social recognition. I want to be recognized socially. I want to be appreciated. I want to be looked up, crave it. And so I gotta be careful with these sorts of things.
yeah, you can't go
Can't let it
too
get to my
deep off
head,
the
you
end.
know?
Yeah. You can easily get drunk off of that, and you're trying not to,
Oh my
go to the
oh
simple
my
joys.
god. When the first flavor stuff went off, I told this again before, but when flavor first went off and Pippa did like the 4-day review, like 4 days later, she's like, "What the fuck is happening?" Came back from my weekend, "What the fuck is happening?" And she played my little teaser video of like the Mina vanilla model, and she like screamed at it. I could not sleep that night. I just replayed like that little bit on YouTube over and over. I was absolutely obsessed reading all the comments, hundreds of people seeing the thing I made and be like, "Holy shit, she's real." It's like there's it's a curse. Getting social validation on like YouTube is like crack. Really, really got to be careful with it.
Yeah.
I feel the kid in my class who's got a Twitter account with 700 followers, she's done for, dude. She's gone.
Yeah. She's gonna be addicted to number. It's so Jover.
Yeah, it is gonna be Sojo over. It is such a shame. She's really smart. She's really, really smart.
I've had like a long history of I'll create stuff, and as soon as I see like number, I panic and destroy it, and then move on to new, and then I start again. See number, panic,
Mm,
destroy, repeat.
interesting. That's I don't think that's healthy, but it might be healthier than getting obsessed with it.
Oh, it's like polar opposites, both ends, right? Both bad, both really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, both bad.
This is
This has been such a blast being a content. Actually
okay.
doing things, actually making even if I'm like lazy these days and I'm not doing much, I swear I'm behind the scenes I'm doing
Oh yeah. Most
fine.
people always forget about all the behind the scenes work. Even like a VTuber corpo or something like that, they have to do so much shit behind the scenes, and then you'll never see it. Same thing with creatives. Like if you make a game, you make art, you'll never see all the hours of research and like fiddling around, all the like failed things. You only see, uh, basically the most polished they can do.
I guess I'm just grateful that the flavor audience and then also a bit of the Phase Connect Game Jam audience that I have, they're all really kind, really receptive. I've been so lucky.
This is, oh yeah, flavor. Yeah, flavor is. I don't want to say the gift that keeps giving, but like it's like an opportunity, or at least it was. I don't. It kind of still is. There's still a core
It still is.
flavor fan base.
And they're like they're like the deep VTuber likers. They're not like casual watchers, right?
Yeah,
They're like
usually, yeah.
very into the culture and like the deep lore and all the not the grift what was the rats.
Yeah. Well, it's because you have to be aware of like another whole VTuber thing, and then you have to like the idea of this weird offshoot VTuber thing. So it's like 3 layers deep, right?
Yeah.
And especially now, right? Because it's not brand new, shiny. Like,
Oh no, yeah, no, the appeal is pretty much like the shininess is gone. All
yeah, it's
a little
rusty.
dull now, rusty.
You need to
But
blast it. What is
still,
it? The air sand thing? We need to blast flavor with that, make it shiny again.
I still
Spit shine
consider
it.
Flavor a big old sandbox, a place for you to chart out your own little area and play around and do what you want. I think in terms of
Yeah.
that, it's it's super helpful for people to test out the waters of what VTubing is like. What do I, what would happen if I did this? Good place to be experimental.
And then you'll at least have a couple people that'll be there for it,
Yep,
which is like a complete new indie. That's not guaranteed. And
true.
should never do things just for validation as you're learning, right? But just getting like a pat on the back every now and then does help. It will keep you going because I'm sure there's like hundreds of VTubers that were really creative, really good, but they just never got attention. They never got
Yeah,
like a, oh, you make good stuff, whatever, just like a nice positive like reinforcement. So they burn out and then they fade away and they're just gone.
makes me. Yeah, it is kind of scary thinking about people who stream to 0 views. That's such a I don't know, to me it's like a scary thought. Like I've definitely had like low number streams because of flavor. It's like I think I may have hit a 0 stream like once or twice. It's just like people who would be able to do that and be able to bear that and keep going on through it. I don't understand how you could. I'd love to pick their brains and understand that because that's a healthier mindset. It's a healthy mind. It seems like
Uh,
madness to.
it's probably again like both bad extremes, right? But yeah, the keep going, like I'm sure there's people that have like on the one view range that have been going for like 2 years and it's like they are dedicated. They're just they're dedicated.
That's. I mean that. Yeah. That's what Fodderuptor. She's somehow she has like three. She's almost getting to 3,000 subscribers, I think. But she typically caps out at like 10 views. She does a lot of like repeat stuff, so she'll be like on Persona 5 Part 37 or whatever, you know. So I
Yeah.
think that kind of debuffs her a lot. She gets a lot more during like Zots. More interesting, not more like new novel games. Oh, I gotta. Oh yeah, that's right. I got a good game for her. I gotta suggest Lorelei and the Laser Eyes or whatever it's called. So, oh man, I'm tearing through that right now. Such a fun puzzle. I
Okay.
like that.
Last your last big question.
Okay.
If you could tell the world one thing, what would it be?
Oh shit, that's right. I remember this. Oh, I thought about it. What was I gonna say? I don't have anything important to say to everybody, so I'd probably. Oh no, that was his answer, right? Um, yeah. No, I'm taking other people's answers. I really don't have anything important to say to everybody. Uh, Funny to like do a big old broadcast of some sort of. I don't have anything. I'm just one guy, man. I'm a guy. Just a little guy. Just a little
Yeah, you just
guy.
want to say you're just a little guy. You're just some guy. Just guy.
Um, Maybe if I could, I would like to play the audio to a super high energy Nerf gun. Broadcast that to everyone in the. The kind where at the end they're just like, call it 100555104, free shipping and handling. There's no cost of shipping. Something like that. Like a really fast, like that sort of old fashioned commercial. I'd like to just
This is
broadcast that to everybody. See what their reaction.
um mm, well, what would it be advertising or would it just be gibberish? Just nonsense.
It would be like it'd either be like something like Domino's Pizza, something that exists just so I could see what would happen, or maybe like an old product or that, maybe like an old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like action figure, like that was from like the 90s. And so people would like internet stores would be like, oh my god, this is a commercial from the 90s. Why the hell did everyone hear it all at once? And like everyone would weird mystery. I don't have anything important to say to everybody. I recognize my experiences, my own experiences.
You get
I'm
the
not
most
talking to you one on one.
attention
It
you
doesn't
could ever have
matter.
humanly possible. Clam up.
Why would I like? What would I do? Would I be like, hey, my name is Temp Tempai. Please donate to this thing because it'll help me live, and then I'll be under constant scrutiny for the rest of my life because I was somehow telepathic. Now everybody
Uh,
wants.
you could just give wisdom, right? Like,
Why would I give humans wisdom? They gotta fight for that. Like we said it before, you don't learn lessons until you learn them until you
yeah, but
experience them
then when they learn
yourself.
it, they'd be like, oh man, when that one weird guy said something inside everyone's head, he was so right.
It was so right, wasn't it? I don't. No, no. I can't speak for anyone. I don't have any good. I just don't know if I'd say anything at all.
Give them the peace of silence. A minute of silence.
Oh, would I be able to do that? Would I be able to enforce like a silence on everybody so they could hear nothing for a minute? That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, this is a hypothetical. You can do anything in a hypothetical.
I think people would crash their cars on the highway if that happened. Probably would be a.
I don't. Some people don't have inner dialogue, so
Yeah, maybe. I thought that meant like nobody could hear anything. Like if the world just
oh,
went deaf for a whole minute, like
from my
everyone would just freak
perspective,
out.
when I think of silence, I think of oh, like head empty. No, no billion thoughts.
That's the flow state, my man.
Hmm. I do think
I mean,
just a
there
random
is.
commercial is funny.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny, right? If it was an existing company like Domino's or something, it'd be really interesting to watch the stock price. Try to figure out what the hell happened.
You just want to cause
Dumb,
chaos and see the aftermath.
kind of. There's not much else to do. Humans are kind of fucked morally, so eh, eh. I have my hands full trying to deal with my own shit. I don't want the responsibility of like being Spider-Man for 8 billion people on the planet.
Damn. Would that be like Spider-Man? I don't think. I don't know.
No, no. I just that's just what came to my mouth. Didn't even pass through
That's
my brain.
fine.
It just came to my mouth straight from the spine. Oh, you know what? Okay, I take it back. I know exactly what I would do. I would play that one really awesome song from Finnfin in everyone's mind. Teyo
Rock see to the
Inahoshi
world.
na na na
Fin
na na
love.
na 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 na. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Finnfin love. Dude, people would pick up on that shit like the Laughing Man from Ghost in the Shell. Like there would be copycats. People would be selling Finnfin merch all over the place. Finnfin stocks shoot through the roof. People would love that shit all of a sudden. It become a meme, ironically, right? Like
Yeah.
people just
The
AI
fucking
generate
mystery of the
Finnfin shit
weird
all over.
Finfin.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what? That's a good answer.
That
You
is
would
a good
show
answer.
Finfin to everyone, so you get more
Yeah,
Finfin content and maybe a new Finfin.
yeah. Okay, yeah. That'd actually be my answer. Yeah, I'd settle for.
God, wait, how the fuck do we end? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Maybe just
Uh-oh.
play crashing sound effect, frame goes to black, woman yells, cat yells, puking sound effect, car horn, clown horn.
And then roaring, clapping audience, and just like, thank you, Temp.
It zooms out on a theater. It zooms out on a theater. People stand up clapping.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great ending. Thank you, Temp. Thank you, whatever. God help me if I edit all that in. God help me. Clap, clap.
Ah,
Temp will now tragically die in some type of accident. This is his last appearance online. Very tragic, very
yeah,
sad.
they're nailing me into this barrel and sending me over Niagara Falls after
They're
this.
sent.
I'll see you on the other side.
Goodbye, Temp. Goodbye.
Okay. See you
Goodbye.
later.
Bye.
Ooh, they're shipping me off already. They're shipping me off.